Open your minds.
Hours of power, hours of power, hours of power, hours of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, see, my cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost at $1 billion. Three PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hears these sirens and looks through the mirror and sees this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the price of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, Paul. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Why do you think you never pick up the paper until you read over and over and see white families? You think of the thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying as black cops shot my loved one 42 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops are that? You think they're more spiritual? Think they're better? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, look, we saying, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that anytime a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you used to drive a car. And if you use it wrongly, you'll lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to push that through? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, then we call them for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Factory Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Roebuck, Weston House. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Hours of power, hours of power, hours of power.
San Antonio, Lincoln 6. Go ahead. Clear suspect down, 10-4. 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your minds. And we are back. Peace, folks. Welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought Series right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. Tonight, a very special guest, the one and only J Speed is here, and he'll be wearing this jacket. Nah, but the OG J Speed is gonna be here tonight, y'all. So y'all know it's never a dull moment with the OG. So look forward to some fun, some cussing, probably some yelling. Because full disclosure, what a lot of people may not know about me and the OGJ Speed, we actually talk on the phone from time to time. So he be giving me the business too. But I got a lot of respect for the OG. I don't always agree with him now. I don't always agree with him, but I got a lot of respect for the OG, man. And he gonna be up in here tonight, y'all. But before we get started with that, let me go ahead and send the OG the link. Check your email, OG. Check your email. Y'all know I gotta hit y'all in the head with T.P.O.T's programming notes because tomorrow we're going to be talking about when the ship sails to Africa. I'm not going to tell y'all exactly what it means. You're going to have to be here tomorrow to see what we're talking about. And I won't be alone because Brotherhood Conservative will be here. Brother SKC will be here as well. And Chaotic Truth will be here as well. So nice mixture of brothers will be here tomorrow. And we'll be talking about when the ship sails to Africa. That's right. When the ship sails to Africa. So make sure you're here, man. All right. All right. Now I'm glad Brother OG, the OGJ Speed is here. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of OG working out. Oh, he's here. Let me go ahead and bring him in without further delay, the one and only OG J Speed.
Hey, what's going on, my brother? My good brother. That
What's
everybody
good with
don't
it,
know
man?
we're brothers from different mothers. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
that. Yeah,
Well,
how you doing tonight?
I was telling them, I said, what a lot of people don't know about myself and the OGJ Speed is that we actually talk on the phone from time to time. So, we kind of somewhat connected outside of YouTube. You see, OG, I got you working out up here, man. You
Oh
see
yeah,
that, right?
yeah. The OG be working out sometime. You know, you gotta keep them old young cats off of you. You know, them young cats think they got a chance, but they ain't got a chance.
Yeah, well, I look at you work out, man, and I see you throwing them bolos, man, and throwing them jabs and hooks and
Yeah.
uppercuts, man.
Hey,
You
look,
could
man,
probably knock one of them 25-year-olds out, man.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, I used to work down there, work out down there in the PAL in Charlotte, North Carolina, Queen City. I came out of the same gym as Captain Seabrooks, Holyfield in Atlanta, Georgia. I was on a national team in 1980. And so, yeah, I can pretty much take it myself, but I've been doing martial arts for probably about 46 years. Study on the master Steve Sanders, but go by the name of Steve Muhammad. So, I'm pretty much can take care of myself. That's why I keep myself so young by working out.
Yeah,
And
man.
so, it is what it is. You get a little old sometime, but you know what? I think I'm aging pretty good, man. 62
Yeah,
years
man.
old. I think I'm doing because I did that video, I believe, when I was 60 years old. And I think I'm a little faster than that now. Matter of fact, I know I'm a little better shape because I was just starting to get, work out. I had let myself get a little heavy, but now, I'm cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
and believe it or not, we have a connection because you are in the Queen City. That's where I was born at. But I lived
Yeah.
my adult life in Atlanta, and I used to always go to New Jersey Avenue in New York and the Bronx, Brooklyn down Bronx, where my mom and stuff, because my dad raised me. And matter of fact, one of my clients in here right now, she's from New York. She's Puerto Rican, New York. So, it's South Bronx. You heard it in the background. So, we get down like that.
Okay. Well, I like it down here. I mean, I'm a native New Yorker, but I've lived a lot of places in this country, man, and I like it here, man. It's been good to me. You know, I can't even lie. I can't complain. I mean, being in North Carolina has been good to me. Being in Mecklenburg and, you know, the Charlotte metro area has been good to me, man. It's been good to me. And likewise, I can be good, you know, to my family, you know, and my grandkids and my nephew and, you know, everybody else because this place has been good to me, man. I've been able to eke out a pretty decent living down here.
Most
Um,
certainly. Queen City got it
yeah,
going on, man. It's the biggest thing
yeah.
other than Atlanta in the South. People don't know that.
It's one of the fastest growing cities in this country, man. I keep telling people, man. I was talking to my man today, and we were talking about it. And you know, because my daughter, she wants to come live down here. She's like, "Oh, Dad, I want to come down there and live where you at." I said, "You better get down here and get you a piece of it now, all right, while the going is
Right.
good, because this city is growing, man. I mean, it is growing exponentially. OG,
Most
I
certainly. I
mean,
mean, think about it, you got a football team there, you got a basketball team there,
yep,
and they ain't just got there, and then you got what you got Carrollton right down the state line, North Carolina,
hmm,
South Carolina, Rock Hill. I used to do a lot of DJing down there. It used to
oh
be a
yeah,
radio station. I started out with WGIV, but it's a country western station now, right
yeah,
down Cannon Road.
yeah.
That's where I started off at, right there. It's WGIV.
Yeah, they about to they just approved they're going to be building a major league soccer
Uh-oh.
stadium here at some point. Yeah.
Might as well get ready for the Spanish people then.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. But you
You might
know,
as well get ready for 'em.
in a city that grows like this, man, I mean, there's opportunities, especially in construction. You can't drive 2 miles without seeing apartment houses being built, highways, bridges, a railroad. I mean, you can't drive 2 miles without seeing some type of construction here. I mean, you just can't. So if you are a construction aficionado, man, this is the place for you. This is the place for you, man. This
Most
is it.
certainly.
You'll never be out of work, man. You will never be out of work. I'm telling you. So all you brothers that's into construction, especially you journeyman brothers, I mean, I'm telling you, come to Mecklenburg, man. I'm telling you, you will never be out of work. I'm telling you. If you get out of work, God damn it, I'll rent you an apartment my damn self.
You get them in there, huh? Yeah,
Yeah,
you could have two or three companies going on down there, and you'll never be out of work, man. I mean, people
yeah.
don't understand that. Because I was back there in the 70s, and believe it or not, I worked right there, working at the radio station at morning time and the evening time when because you only do 4 to 6 hours at the radio station.
Hmm.
And I had a job at this place called Speedy Prince. He ran by Chris Conrad. He was a Greek. He was the first one, outside of my father, that really taught me a lot of things. And he had a son about 5 years younger than me, and he had a print shop. And I know you remember this. You probably don't, I don't know if y'all had this in New York when you was in New York, but they had cars that you can buy, but you pay like $20 a week.
Hmm.
Used
What
cars that was for people who didn't
they
have
have
good
them
credit.
here. They have them here. They
Okay.
call them buy here, pay here's.
Okay. So yeah. So that's what he used to do. Like I used to go down to the Cadillac place, pick up like four old Cadillacs. People don't trade it in. So they be super
Hmm.
cars because people don't trade them in. But he used to get like four of them for like $700, and he'll sell one for $700 and get $20 a week. And so by $20 a week, you don't really have that kind of contract that you have to wait for 90 days. If you miss a payment, they could come pick up your car the same week.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I started out
yeah.
learning a lot of stuff about cars, and that's really what got me into wanting to go to college to trade college for mechanical engineer. And so I
Hmm.
was always moving because I had my first kid at 16. So I had to work. I always had 2 or 3 jobs all my life, even when I got into California working in the movie industry. I always had 2 to 3 jobs all my life.
Yeah, man. It's hard to be out of work here, man. I mean, you know, if you out of work here in this area, especially, and I'm not just talking about the Charlotte metro area. You know, I'm talking about Mecklenburg. You know, because you talk about Mint
Mecklenburg
Hill,
County. Yeah,
yeah,
Mecklenburg
Mint
County. Yeah.
Hill, Matthews, Pineville.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Concord.
yep,
I
yep.
mean, all up in there.
If you are
Davison.
out of work, yep. If you are out of work in this area, your black ass just don't want to work.
Most certainly.
You just don't want to work, man. You just don't. You just want to stay in the basement, all right, and play Xbox all damn day. But
And my and as you speaking on that, now is a good time to get a job because even in California, like even our post office out here, they are having 9 and 10 employees come in for a whole building post office. So we get our mail every other day now because they're drawing unemployment, and they get more money with unemployment they're actually getting for working. So it's hard to get people to go to work. How about down there where you at? Is it hard to get people to go work now because of that ADD?
I think it is. I mean, because we had some problems, speaking of a post office, I mean, we've had some problems with the mail where, there's days that the mail won't come, that
Yeah,
kind of
every other
shit.
day.
Because see, so many people are laid off, due to the, I guess the whatever special unemployment they give them. There's a lot of problems when you go to certain places like auto parts stores are shorthanded. Where else? I know Home Depot, the supply company, interstate distributors, where I go to pick up a lot of my stuff. I pick up a lot of my material from interstate. They're shorthanded. I've went there, man, to pick up a delivery, and they're like, "Oh, X, we won't have it ready till tomorrow because we shorthanded." So there's a lot of that going on, and help wanted signs are everywhere. All right, they are
Yeah,
literally everywhere. Help wanted billboards are on the
right.
side of the road at this point. Billboards, because they can't get nobody to work, man. They can't
Most
get
certainly.
nobody to work.
It's just crazy. I mean, and I don't know what it's gonna be like in the next 2 months, man. You have to really wonder what it's gonna be. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, you have to really wonder what it's gonna be like in the next 2 months because it's just getting to the case. People are still walking around in a daze, man. I don't know about where you at, but people are out, but they're just not there. You can look
Yeah.
at them, tell them they're not there. It's kind of remind me of. I seen this movie one time where this brother and this what the wrestler name, they put on these sunglasses and they can see the real people that they were skeletons. They was from out of this world. I forget the name of the movie, but
Oh, shoot.
anyway, they had one of the greatest fight scene in that movie. But it's like that people walking around, but they seem like they're walking around with an empty shell,
Mm.
like they're waiting for something to happen. And I'm like,
Well,
okay,
what people got to understand is that this unemployment crap isn't going to last forever, man. I mean,
nah,
it's not. It's not. I mean, at some point, it's going to come to an end. I think they stopped part of it down here in September. I think after September, you were done with your special unemployment, but they have something else now that they're letting
mm-hmm,
people do. Basically giving people excuses not to work, of course. But
right,
yeah, but none of this stuff lasts forever. I think because I believe the rent moratorium is over here. I think that ended in September as well.
okay,
So you're gonna have to pay that rent. All right. If you haven't paid it in a while, them landlords gonna be coming for you. They want their money or they want your
mm-hmm.
ass out. So I mean, people are gonna have to they're gonna have to acclimate, man, and get right, man, because I think a lot of people have been coasting, especially here. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people have been kind of coasting, man, because they've been getting all this free money. They ain't gotta pay their rent, they ain't gotta do,
Right.
they ain't gotta pay their lights, they ain't gotta pay all that shit.
Oh, they playing
But
their lights too out there? Damn.
well, they had a moratorium here where you could apply for like assistance with your your light and your heat and all that kind of stuff. They had all that shit down here. This city is ran by Democrats. So when you got a
Oh yeah,
city that's
you
ran
already.
by Democrats,
Yeah, you right
already
about
know
that.
what that's gonna be. They
Dixie
gonna give
crowd. We
you,
call them Dixie
yeah.
crowd.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
gonna let you not work. They're gonna let you not pay your rent. They're gonna let you not pay your light bill, your water bill, your all that shit. They don't want you paying nothing. All right, you're a
Right.
victim. You're a victim, and all the bills and shit you amass. you're not responsible for them, so we gonna help
Right.
you out. So it's just nuts, man. It's just
So let me ask you a question while because it's probably gonna be the last interview I ever do.
oh snap. I'm
I know,
honored.
yeah,
I'm
you
honored.
probably gonna be the last one I do till I get ready to exit to
Hmm.
Africa. I will do one of that, and that's gonna be done on Simulcast radio station WOL. Captain
Mm.
Hugh is one of my best friends who runs a show there in Washington D.C. Um, where you think this where you think this space is going?
Um,
Now let's keep KS out of it because I mean everybody know where he came from and know what the numbers he doing now, but he ain't messing with the brothers. So that ain't a bad thing neither because I honor success. But what I
mhm.
am saying is where's this space going? Because everybody say, he might be, he might have been one of us, and he's speaking for us, but he's doing it in a different way that most of us still bicker about it. Should women be on the panel or not be on the panel or in the chat room or any damn thing else? So,
Yeah.
your expert opinion is you've been around a while, a couple blocks, and probably have made a couple blocks. Where you think this space is really going?
I think it's going to grow. Like always, I mean, it's continued to grow. Uh, there's always going to be problems with anything, uh, whether it be a virtual space or a real space, especially when you got a bunch of Negroes in it.
Right,
Um, it's never going to be perfect harmony when you got
right,
a bunch of Negroes there. I
right,
don't expect perfect harmony. I don't expect to ever see perfect harmony, but I think this space is going to endure. I think it's going to remain, long after people like you and I have left it.
right,
I think it's going to remain. It may change here and there, but I don't think it's going to change enough that, it's going to become something different than what it is right now. I don't believe that. Um, People are going to leave it. People are going to come into it. Some of those people who leave are going to come back. Some of those people who leave are going to go off and do other things.
right.
Um,
The reason
because
I
see,
asked you that,
I
the
don't have a
reason,
problem with the space. I mean,
okay, me neither.
I,
I'm trying to
I
see
don't have
where
a
it's
problem with it.
going because I don't think really. Okay, I say we gonna keep KS out of it
Hmm.
because he's doing his own thing. Um, who's doing the numbers that O'Shea used to do? What I mean, you got Angry Man out there, but who's really doing them type of numbers that O'Shea used to do?
Mm.
So when you start talking about growing, I'm trying to figure out. Are you saying it's just because there's more channels, everybody went on their own, but who's doing them type of numbers that was done 2 years ago? No
Oh,
one.
you mean like on the Rumbles?
On the Rumbles or just when O'Shea used to come on, man, he got 600 or 700 people in his boom, bam, within 20
Yeah.
minutes. Who doing them type of numbers?
Well, well, you got to understand that. I mean, it all depends because I've seen brothers, do those types of numbers. Um, it all depends on what you're talking about, who you got on, the subject matter, who's on down the road or down the block. I mean, I think all of that plays into it.
Yeah,
um
a city you'll get good 400.
oh yeah.
Um, um, AR, uh,
Yeah.
he can get in the 300s, but nobody's doing the 600s and 700 out there that I see. I see Angry Man at his top sometime, a max out about 500. Sometimes he might have 600, but that's not like on a consistent basis. And that's what I'm saying is when I see something growing, I don't see it just in, I would say, um, quantity.
Hmm.
Because yeah, we got a lot of guys who used to be on them channels. They have their own channels now, but
Hmm.
nobody is doing them type of numbers, man. And I think that's why everybody do talk about KS because nobody's knowing where we at in this space. Everybody is kind of like it used to be. Everybody know where the meeting place were, and
Mhm.
and then it seemed like this big hell of a fire broke out, and everybody scattered, and everybody went in their own little way. So we don't know who's connected to who, or it's just a space that's floating in space now. That I feel.
Mhm. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think it's somewhat splintered, because YouTube is very cliquish, it's very clubbish, it's very cultish. So um there's always going to be some splintering. Many of us share audiences. I mean, people that watch you probably watch me, and vice
Oh
versa.
hell no! Oh hell
So
no! I wouldn't say that. Your fan base. Look, let me just tell you. Let me tell you something. Your fan base is so much broader than that. I mean, just
Mm,
your fan base. I knew when I came into this space, it wasn't for the numbers because I know I wasn't gonna be for the number because I know I wasn't gonna be popular in this space. I
mhm,
got some other spaces that I don't even announce, and I'm way more popular in them spaces as I am in this space. And I would never bring people over to that space. Matter of fact,
mm,
I tried, I'm up to 280 for probably the 20 zillion time, and I'm about ready to kill that channel again to start all the way back over because I always wanted to be under the radar
mm,
so I can say what I wanted to say. And people don't see the importance in that, but I know I wasn't gonna never be popular in this space because um I come from a different cloth,
mm.
and I know a lot of things was gonna be hard to swallow for a lot of these guys. And by the way, I got a hat want to send you too. All right,
Uh-oh.
and maybe you might want
Uh-oh.
to. I'm serious. I got a hat that I got printed up. I'm gonna let you see them. And these brothers, they would eat this up. Can you read that right there? Let me see.
Hold on. Let me blow you up. Let me blow you up. Let me blow you up.
So I got these caps. They're not cheap caps. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? And I'm pretty much letting them go. Now you see the price. I got them from designer. They $10.99. I'm pretty much letting them go for $5 because I know these brothers would suck something like that up. You know what I mean? And it's a nice looking cap. Just like I said, it's not made out of the cheap quality. Look at the back here. It's not made out of cheap quality. It's a
Yeah, brothers
real nice
brothers
hat.
would definitely wear that just because of what it says on the front of
Yeah,
it.
just because what it says, but
Just just because of that.
right, and that's what I'm saying is I don't pretty much spent my time in the dating scene and been married twice and all the things I hear them talk about and all the things I hear them what they want. I'm just gonna wait until it's said and done. And we gonna see who was right and who was wrong. But I
Mhm,
pretty much got a incentive to know that a lot of stuff that I get pushed back and kicked on the leg about, I
mhm.
know it's gonna come back and bite a lot of them brothers in the ass. I already know it. I already know it
Um,
because I'm serious because I we came in a generation, right? You came in that generation where men talked away in similar ways that these guys talk, but we did it at the barbecues and everybody always talking about the barbershop. No, we did these things like when family gatherings came together and men would have problems with their women and stuff like that. You know how we sat around, we talked, we had that men corner that we sat
mhm.
around talking about, you know, I heard this talk before, but
Yeah,
we would always be able to know when an uncle or a friend of an uncle is getting ready to have a breakup just because how he talked about his woman. So
yeah.
a lot of these conversations, these brothers think we didn't have because, we just were all silent and quiet, But we've been having these conversations, man. It's just, I guess, the beginning of man. You know what I mean? And it's surprising to when people come into life and they say to themselves is the things that they experience and how they experience. The only thing different, man, I'm gonna just be honest with. To me, it's the communication, the
Mhm.
the devices we use for communication, and it's much faster. Well,
Yeah.
y'all games are much faster, younger generation than the games we had. We had one little white dot going across the goddamn TV screen, doop, 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 and that was called tennis. That's all we
Yeah.
have. Y'all got blood splattering on the goddamn TV screen. You got killing motherfuckers all running over old ladies screaming. Y'all got a lot of shit that y'all deal with just in them damn games that we had no opportunity to deal with them kind of games. So I'm just saying, when it's all said and done, that's why I stopped really getting angry at people and really start making jokes out of this shit. Because, you know, if you go by the damn things that this space sometimes tell you, you got to read 26 books to learn how to get some pussy. Look, man, there's a fucking dog that lived down the street. There's a fucking dog that lived down the street. They never went to school, and that dog getting pussy every first of the month. Every time you find a dog in heat. So I had one of my brothers. One of my brothers had to cool me out. He said, Jay, you bigger than that. Don't be fussing with the motherfucker. Act like they hecklers at the nightclub when you doing stand up. And so, you know, about a month ago, I started taking that approach. I'm like, fuck it, what I'm getting mad at? Because you can't make nobody think the way you think.
Nope.
You can lead people to the water, but you can't make them drink. And
Nope.
they can sit up there and fight against you all you want to. Well, then stop talking to them on that avenue. Get in your own lane, J Speed. Tell your experience. And anytime somebody give you pushback over some bullshit, act like he or she is a heckler on the goddamn while you doing your joke on the stage. And I just took that approach and like, look, man, I've been happy, just as happy as I can be, because just like I say is, I was taking this shit, you know, like all the other things that I associate myself with, serious. But I come to find out you can't take a lot of this shit serious, man. A lot of this shit is just pure entertainment to a lot of people who wants to get in the chat room and talk shit. You know what I mean? So, you know.
Absolutely. I've been saying it for years, man. Like, you know, I mean, because OG, this is YouTube, right? This is internet. And I tell people this shit all the time, man. Like 20% of this shit is worth a damn. You know, you got people up here who actually do serious shit. You know, you can learn how to, you know, rebuild an engine, unclog your sink, you know, change a tire, you know. But the other 80% of this shit is strictly entertainment, man. It's
That's
not
it.
like the people talk about it like it's this great fucking beginning. It's like this great knowledge base. And really, it's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. About 20% of it, you actually can watch this shit, actually learn something, learn how to do something. There's actually people on here who talk serious shit, and they can teach you, you know, X, Y, and Z. But the other 80%, man, it's just a bunch of entertainment, man. It's just something for your ass to look at and occupy your time. I mean, I've been on here since, I think, 2015, right? The end of 2015. So the end of this year will be 6 years that I've been on YouTube. And let me tell you something, man. I mean, a lot has changed, but a lot has stayed the fucking same. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear a lot of different shit, but guess what? I hear a lot of the same old shit. All right. So it's not like it's like I said, this isn't some breathtaking thing. Now, people will tell you or try to convince you that, you know, this is some I don't know. It's like the Sims games to some of these folks, you know, virtual house, virtual life, virtual wife, virtual car. So YouTube has allowed many people to get on here and communicate with other brothers, connect with other brothers, and all that kind of stuff. But it's also allowed people to live vicariously through their fucking computer. All right. They live vicariously through their computer. So you got people who will get up here, man, and act like, you know, it's really going down. That's why do you think people will get up here and threaten to slap you and punch you, and they're going to show up at your house and all some kind of nonsense?
Right. They're going to take a flight and all this other bullshit.
Meanwhile, I'm in New York, you in California, but somehow you just going to pull up to my damn house. You know, that's what it has done. It has emboldened people.
Yeah.
And you know how it is, man. Some people, when it comes to this media stuff, this is the first time that people have ever listened to them, man. They actually can get somewhere and have people listen to them. And some people on here, I think this is the first time they've had people talk to their black asses. All
You're
right.
right, man. And that's why you got to take this shit. I've been like, okay, how would David Chappelle handle this shit? How would Chris Rock handle this shit? How would Shitty Man from the '80s would handle this on the stage? How would Robin Harris handle this shit? So I had to say to myself, man, you know what? This is not the Nation of Islam,
Absolutely not.
J Speed. This is not a serious church organization. This is not a Black Power movement or anything that you. This is not you talking to a couple professors. This is not when you're talking to Dr. Henry Clark or these prominent people that I've worked with all my life. This is YouTube, just like you say. A
Yeah,
lot of
it's
these
YouTube,
motherfuckers,
man.
they look. I got some people on here, and I can look at them, and every panel I'm on, they ain't never had anything to positive say about me. If they like the way I wear my suit, or I look young, or I look healthy, they ain't never had anything positive to say about me. I was like, what is wrong with these motherfuckers? You know what I mean? Because even though that me and you disagree, I give you your props on what you do great that I agree along with. And everybody else, even the YouTubers that I don't agree along with 90% of their style of how they do it, I used to go there and give them charity, man. I mean, I still do. I mean, I just gave MOT a cash app last night, and he was so surprised. But I remember when I was over at Bernard's channel, and he came in, and I had to respect him for that because I said something. Everybody else was hitting the fan, but when he came in, I think it was I call him Colonel Sanders. Oh, what's his name? He's a dating coach. Well, he wrote a book, the More One book, and we was going back and forth, and MOT came in and said, both of them have points, but up to that point, nobody had a point. I think it's this whoever you like and everybody else you have to dislike. So I just say I had to give him respect for that because he is the first person I know that have ever came on the panel. And look, man, I can say some of the dumbest shit in the world, but that's only gonna be my comedy snick. But I really believe in a lot of stuff that I talk about in these spaces as far as things that help me out and help my sons out. And that's what people do forget about us, TP. They think we get to a certain age that we stop living and everything stopped for us. We still have children their age that we have to conversate with all the time and help them with their problems all the time. And I don't think these guys respect us enough to even say that we have knowledge to even talk to our children. I've been on panels when they say I would just be glad when all old people die. Okay, motherfucker, wait till it's your time around.
Man,
That's all I can say.
that's what I say. Like, because I have people in my family from like all generations. All right. I mean, I got sons. Okay. I have sons that are a lot of these dudes' age. I have grandchildren. I have granddaughters, grandsons. So I got multiple generations. Okay, that I'm responsible for. And I always hear people, I make a joke out of it. Oh, you old niggas, you old niggas, you old niggas. And I'm not that shocked from the dudes who are like, 25, 30. But you got motherfuckers who like 47 talking about you old niggas. Like, man, I'm like 5 years older than you. Like, I mean, in 5 years, motherfucker, you'll be older than I am right now. So I guess you'll be an old nigga. I think a lot of people just like to be able to say that to you because, see, it's easy to dismiss you. And what I say to brothers is this: look, especially brothers that are like, they're like 25, 30 years old. Fine, you think I'm some old nigga. But let me tell you something, young man. When I was your age, I probably had more money than you. I probably owned more vehicles than you. All right. Owned a crib already. All of that. So, and the reason why they say that to dismiss you, because see, this is the point of thinking of that. I'll tell you what this is, or what I think it is. All right. They think that at their age, they're smarter than you were when you were their age. And likewise, when they get your age, they're going to be smarter than you
Then you.
when they get your age. And you know what I tell brothers? I'm like, fine, yeah, I'm an old nigga. But let me tell you something. Don't let me see your ass 10, 15 years from now greeting me at freaking Walmart when I walk in there. All right? All right?
Well, most of these motherfuckers won't even make it to Walmart. They be in some soup kitchen line, ain't
Yeah.
did shit in their life.
Sleeping under a
Nobody
goddamn
wants to be
bridge.
around their ass because they're so angry and so distraught about shit that don't happen in their life.
You
And
know?
there's no internet around to make them feel good about themselves because now they the old motherfuckers. They get on the channel. And believe it or not, TP, there are some old motherfuckers. Now listen what I just said. There's some old motherfuckers out there who's trying to act like, you ever see a mother who goes out with her daughter and her daughter got on one
Mhm.
short mini skirt and hers is shorter than her daughter, trying to get
Yeah.
her groove back, and they hanging out together? Well, it's some
Yeah.
old motherfuckers out here in the manosphere who are just like that.
Oh yeah.
And they act adolescent. They act so young and they try to say all the stupid shit. Now, I'm not talking about being these motherfuckers are serious. You know what I mean? And you know, another thing I found out about some of these stupid motherfuckers, the one that are serious, TV, is the ones who cam up. The ones who ain't never cammed up. Now, them are to me are the ones that are so distraught in life because they get on the camera and call you all kinds of bullshit, but they ain't never camera up. You know what I mean? And so that tells me a lot about them in the first place. Why is it you so? Wait a minute. We got technology now. We don't have to have just a picture up there. We got technology now where you actually can make a call on your phone and you can instantly see the person you talking to versus the phone I had when I was coming up. You had to do a rotary dial to dial a motherfucker. Why are you not
Mhm.
camming up? What is it about you that you can talk so much shit about somebody else and you won't cam up? And see, them type of brothers like that or sisters like that, I don't pay them any mind because they could be a bunch of agents. You know what I mean? Just come in your chat room and try to fuck up your house. So I'm gonna laugh at their ass like, look, motherfucker, if you ever want to have a really conversation with me, cam your ass up and let's talk about it. And see, a lot of that stuff, old motherfuckers, ugly motherfuckers and all that shit goes out the window because you looking at that big overweight fat motherfucker who's sitting down, got a box of popcorn and probably some Haagen-Dazs ice cream, sitting around eating, getting fat just like women do when they got problems, talking about shit to you, you know. So I don't pay the motherfuckers no mind now. I just look at them as good joke material.
Yeah, I don't see me. I don't. That doesn't really bother me. I mean, you know, because there's a lot of people on here who don't show themselves. You know, I mean, that's just part of the deal. The only time, like you, the only time I feel like it's necessary, you know, for one of these people who want for one of these people to show themselves is when they talking shit. I mean, you're gonna get up here and you're gonna talk about somebody's looks. You're gonna talk about their hair, their whatever, but you don't give the person the opportunity to see your ass. See, that's the problem that I have. You know, if you're a
Yeah,
person
that's what
that's
I'm
not
talking
showing
about.
yourself, yeah, if you're not showing yourself, I mean, you actually shouldn't be talking about what somebody look like. All right. Because
Right.
you actually have them at they're at a disadvantage because see, they don't know what the hell you look like. And you throwing all these ad hominems at them. But I mean, that's part of the YouTube game, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of this, you know, it's all right for me, but it's not all right for thee, right?
Right.
I can talk shit about you, I can call you names, I can do all this kind of shit, but God forbid you do it to me. Oh,
Right.
you see, because see, you're not worthy. You know,
Word.
you got all these people on here with this God Mike complex that my brother Jay Shine always talks about. This
Right.
God Mike complex where, you know, I am more worthy than you.
I
I
like that.
can say things that you cannot. My mic is more powerful because I am more knowledgeable. I am smarter. So I'm allowed to talk crap to you. And you must sit and listen to it and say nothing in response because I am me. I am superior to you. A lot of
Yeah,
that
you got
shit
them
going
like
on up
that,
there.
man. Hey, look. Hey, brother X. I was on a channel one time. This was about, I guess, about 9 months ago, right? So, you know, I'm on there shooting the shit, and there's some fine woman came on the channel, and she started talking to me, and the brother who hosted y'all, well, he got a little insecure. I could tell he got insecure because he was like, that old motherfucker can't even get it up, And I was like, what? He was like, motherfucker, how you dick watching on me? What you know what my dick can do, And so, so I told the brother, I said, I tell you what, I'll put my body against your body any day, right? Because I had figured out this brother was a lot older than the picture he was using. And the picture he was using was not even of him. It was some other, I think, rap star or some motherfucker, some light-skinned motherfucker you used to use all the time. But anyway, so there was another gentleman on the channel, and he told the other brother, he said, "Oh, J. Speed got your ass." Like, he put his body together, and he just showed you who I got up, took off my shirt. Look at motherfucker, ain't no wrinkles on my body. I'm 62, at that time, I think I was 61. I'm 61 years old. Ain't no wrinkles on my goddamn body. My body still look like a 21-year-old man. I ain't got a fucking wrinkle on, all piece of hair on my fucking chest. And the brother got so nervous, brother X, he messed around and hit his camera. And I seen his hands, motherfucking hands look like prunes. So I know the motherfucker had to be old.
See, there's a lot of foolishness up there, man. There's a lot of foolishness.
Look what I said. That brother have not liked me since that night that I made him so nervous that motherfucker fucking around and hit the camera switch, and his hands were showing because we were showing shoes and all kinds of shit. And, clothes and all kinds of shit. I matched him for everything he had in his closet. And that motherfucker fucking around hit that wrong button. And he was showing them shoes, and them hands came out like, goddamn, look like two prunes coming out of a fucking pair of shoes. And so from that point on, he can never prove to me that he was a young man. I see that he was an old ass man.
Me, I just don't get the infatuation with trying to prove you're youthful or more youthful than someone else. I guess because I came up in a different time. I look at older people differently. One of my closest friends is a 78-year-old man. We sit and we play chess. Shout out to the OG. We sit, we play chess, man. I sit over there and drink up his scotch, and I've learned so much from that old fella because he talks about when he was young and how things were when he was young. And, we go back and forth, and I talk to him about how things are now. And, I just see older people differently because I had a lot of older people in my life that influenced me. All right. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from older mechanics, engineers, electricians, carpenters, asphalt guys. I learned a lot as a young man from these people, likewise with my father and my grandfather. I learned a lot of my business acumen from watching these older men, the way they handled business, the way they did things. And I came up in a time where, older people, your elders were to be respected. And it was mostly because they were respectable. They were respectful people. But now I guess we live in a time now where the older people aren't even really respectful or respectable. So, of course, younger people don't respect them because they don't really conduct themselves with respect, especially when you got 50 and 60-year-old people, man, trying to freaking act like they're in their 30s, So when you see younger people who are in their 30s, they see this stuff, of course, they're not going to garner any respect from them folks because they're like, this person is like 60 years old and they acting like they're 25. So, the people are not going to respect you, especially younger people, because they're going to look at you and they're like, this ain't nobody to be respected, especially if you're saying a bunch of disrespectful things, if you disrespect them, because respect is kind of mutual, right?
Most certainly.
You give a lot of it out and you hope to get some back. That's
Right.
kind of
And
how it
it's
goes.
right. It's earned too. It's not
Yes,
just because your age, it's
yes,
earned.
yes,
And but
yes.
see, sometimes I think, in these, and I'm just being serious, in these type of spaces, I know what I was getting into when I got into it because I started on Facebook. I always had a bigger pull on Facebook because there's a different quality of people who I'm talking to, and they've come from a different cloth too. Now, when I go over to YouTube about 3 years later, I just found out it was better because you had Hangout and you had a lot of other stuff going on. And then I ran into a couple of the guys in Manosphere. But I didn't intend to, be in this space. And just like I said from the beginning, I know I was never gonna be popular in this space because I don't hang with these type of people. And I'm just being honest, and I'm not making myself better than anyone else, but I don't hang with these type of people, even with this type of mindset. I really don't. In my real life, a lot of people that I communicate with on YouTube, I wouldn't hang with them a half a fucking day. You know what I mean? They're just not my cup of tea. They ain't my kind of brothers. You know what I mean? I hang with people like Harry Epstein, Richard Roundtree, other brothers, the Wayne and brothers. I hang around a bunch of people that have had some success in their life and they ain't sitting around talking about where they didn't have success. They just keep the shit moving. I was on a Senior Hall, Robert Townsend show. I mean, his variety show. I hang with them type of people, but mostly, let's just be honest, TP, I hang with myself. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I mean, I'm a homebody. Really, I am. Other than camping and fishing, really a homebody. Unless I'm out there, in some kind of movement or something. I prefer my house is my kingdom. And wherever, my house is, that's where I'm comfortable at. That's why I purchased it. That's why I bought it. That's why I live there. Because I'm comfortable being there. I don't have to be out in the street pumping my chest about what I done did and whatever. Yes, I'm proud of all the things I did. I'm just a little country ass boy who came from Charlotte, North Carolina, who seen the city was not moving the way I wanted to move, decided to go to Denmark Tech in South Carolina and then move to Atlanta because and New York had influenced me so much that Charlotte just was not the place for me at that time. And so I moved to Atlanta and I spent most of my adult life in Atlanta. And I learned a lot of things because Atlanta do have a lot of black colleges and a lot of things that I was involved in. So these guys that I come on here, it's pretty much I slipped into that door. And and I think if it wasn't for O'Shea, and I have to give him his prop, if it wasn't for his genius as being have a good sense of humor, and he has he could be a well trained comedian if he wanted to. You know what I mean? Because he just have that in him. That's ain't something you can go to school and learn how to do, and not have it in me. I think he's the one that kept me around and to say, well, there's other things in this space that that you can enjoy. You can get your comedy skills, you can get your jokes off, you can do whatever. Because I do a lot of different characters. I came in comedy doing, doing other people, with other voices. And sometimes I do the drunk voices and over there, Bernard Challenge. People think I'm drunk. I ain't never drunk nothing in my life. Never smoked no weed in my life. I had one vice, well, two: women and cigars.
Yeah,
That's the
man.
only two. That's the only two vices I have in my life. Okay. Now, if somebody gonna have some pushback on me because of that, man, then oh well, oh well, because it is what it is. I have a right to live my life like you have you live yours, and if it don't go connected to your lane and what you going through in your life, well, that's why we're individual. We're not Siamese twins. We're not hooked on together. You can go your way and I can go my way. And I think that is the major problem with this space is we all supposed to be cheerleaders for one one note, and we're an instrument, have many of notes until they start really understanding that. Well, it's always gonna be a little splendid because they're gonna see where people find themselves and get successful and they move in different direction, and then they're gonna be left there holding the bag, wondering and scratching their head, what the fuck happened? You know, because I have people here, just like I have people at my house, and I have a room that I call a safe room. And if you sitting down there with your lip all poked out, you come in my room, you start talking negative. It's a front room with a TV and everything. But if you come there and start talking and negative and all that stuff, you got to get the fuck out of my room. That room is what I call a safe room. It's nothing but positive. Come in there, read a book, whatever you want to do, quiet room. But if you come down with your mouth all poked out and you looking down and shit, talking shit all the time about this and that, then you need to get the hell out of my room because I don't want that spirit in that room. I want to be able to, it's just like the gang. You have places where there's a gang truth that, even if they see each other, they can't fight each other in that area. That's just the way I do things in life, man. And I know a lot of people don't understand that because they're in this race, whatever race they're in, and they trying to figure this shit out. I'm gonna give them room to figure it out, man. Fuck it, you know what I mean? Look, if you want to complain about a lot of shit in your life, or you want to talk about a lot of shit that you don't want to date, then spend your goddamn time doing that. I got some other shit I need to be doing, and and that's another thing too. I want to bring up, TP. You run your own business, right? You take the time
almost
out to
8
do these.
years.
You take the time to do these kind of shows. But let me tell you something, TP. I'm pretty sure you got your phone in your pocket sometime, but I don't see you up and down the YouTube street all fucking day long, man. I have to wonder about some of these. I'm retired. So I got to wonder about some of these brothers who call themselves successful and young men. What the fuck kind of job they doing? They could be on YouTube all fucking day long, typing in the goddamn chat room. I'm trying to figure this shit out.
Well, maybe they work from home and they make millions of dollars doing it.
Well, as you know, and I know, millionaires hang with millionaires. Why they come to the peons and hang with them?
Well, I know me personally. I just don't have the time. I mean, I don't even have the time now. All right.
That's
And
my point.
this is a slow time in my season. When it gets to be November, December, January, February, my business kind of slows down quite a bit. It slows down about 60%, right? We don't even work 6 days. We work 3 or 4 days a week now. And that's how it's going to be probably for the next 2 months. And even with that, I don't have time to be up here every day, all day. I mean, I just don't have the time. Plus, not only that, man, I got a wife, I got a family. I got other shit going on besides YouTube.
Right. That's what I'm saying is you said the right thing. You don't have the time to do that. And me as a retired man, I find myself where you won't even see me in nobody's spaces sometimes for weeks. And I come back, but then I come back and I see the same person jump from this channel to this channel to this channel, this channel. And I'm sitting up here and saying, fuck it, I had to work hard to retire at this age. And these motherfuckers are in their prime and they got time. Talk about all the success they do in their life as being a great man, or a half a high value man, or a quarter of a high value man, or they make 6 figures, but they're always in these goddamn spaces. And I'm saying to myself, when and where do your fucking ass ever go to work? I'm serious.
Well, it's easy. It's easy to be on here every day, all fucking day, if you are under someone else's umbrella. Because a lot of brothers are young, and this isn't a slight. It's not a slight to young brothers, but we're living in a time now, man, where you got more young people living with their parents than ever before. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these people, man, that's on YouTube, man, a lot of these people still living with mama. All right.
Mm-hmm.
They're still living up under mama. I talk about it all the time. They down there You know, their bed next to the boiler. Boo. You hear that damn boiler in the background. Like, man, why am I hearing this boiler?
Yeah.
Because they sleeping next to it. It's down in the basement. That's why
Mm-hmm.
you're hearing it. And you got quite a bit of that. All right. You got quite a bit of that on YouTube. So of course they have time to be on live streams 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. All right. Of course they have time. Because see, if you live with mama, guess what? Number one, you're probably not handling none of those bills. You're not handling none of that responsibility around that house. All right. You have plenty of time. Because see, at mama house, you can get away with that shit. Yeah, you can get away with being online, being on Xbox, playing Call of Duty, 10 hours a fucking day. You can get away with that shit at mama house. You can't get away with that shit nowhere else. All right, unless you find some woman who just desperate to have your black ass there. But
thirsty.
Yeah, but in real life, all right, when you got a house to maintain, all right, a woman to provide for, a family to provide for, bills to pay, car notes to pay, fucking insurance to pay, a business to run, and all that kind of shit. I don't have 10 fucking hours a day to be fucking up on here. I just don't. I just don't. Absolutely not. There's no way I could fit it in. Usually when I come up here, to be honest, I get up off of here, man. Guess what? I lay down and I gotta be right back up at like 5:30.
Yes, sir.
And then some nights, man, I be on this shit till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, man. Get up all groggy. But I have to do it. Why? Because I got a life to live, man. I got people who depend on me. All right. I got people who depend on me. So I gotta get my ass up. You know, notice I only stream at night. Ain't that often you catch me streaming in the daytime, man.
Oh,
like,
hell no. You know, I might hear you pop in every once in a while on a good topic when you got a baby get the lunch or something like that. But I have come to the conclusion from my little bit of investigation that some of these motherfuckers are living with women who they get on the goddamn internet and talk shit about, but them women out there working, supporting these ass.
Imagine that.
Right.
They on the internet talking shit.
Asses at home talking shit
working
about the kind of woman they have because they won't even go into a pie factory, put diapers on flies, keep from shitting on pies. These mothers down there playing them same games that you were saying earlier, because I don't know none of them motherfucking games. But anyway, I think a lot of them are in them types of relationships that they talking shit about.
It's a possibility, man.
There's a lot of undercovers in here, man. When I'm saying undercovers, I mean, I'm not talking about law enforcement. I'm just saying that's why a lot of these motherfuckers won't get in here and cam up, because if they girl ever see them on there talking shit about them, them motherfuckers going out the back door. They ain't coming out the front door. They going out the back door. Motherfucker, you got to climb and fix to go to your neighbor's yard to get the fuck off my block.
She gonna throw their ass out because it's her house.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a big joke if all this shit ever came to pass. If YouTube was that flip flop everything and know where everybody was and know everybody identification.
Well,
and you see this motherfucker getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning making lunch for his lady.
He packing her lunch and shit.
Yeah, while she going to work.
But see, that's the thing, though.
This motherfucker got callus on his thumbs from playing goddamn Xbox.
Oh yeah. That's the thing, OG. Up here, I can tell you anything, man. I can tell you I'm a fucking astronaut. All right. The burden is on you to prove me wrong. There's no way for you to prove me wrong. You either believe me or you don't. You either believe me or you don't. I can say I'm an astronaut. I can say I'm a nuclear physicist. I can say I'm whatever. All right. I can tell you I make $1 million a year. You have no way to prove me wrong. You either believe me or you don't.
Yeah.
All right. That's kind of where we are with this internet stuff, man, especially with YouTube.
Look, I mean, I can put on a tuxedo to go to McDonald's if I wanted to. I would eat that crap in the first goddamn way, but I keep 2 tuxedos and 5 suits in my fucking closet. You bubblegum, non-Stacey Allen wearing shoe motherfuckers, she's wearing sneakers with a suit. Look, there's some certain things you gotta know, and certain things in life you gotta understand. And you can't understand these things because your woman is working and your ass is in the basement. That's the ones who are not living with mom. Because some of the moms are still working. You got to
Mm-hmm.
understand that too, TV. So this motherfucker's up there making peanut butter and and sardine sandwiches for his mom to go to work, while he go sleep to that damn 12 o'clock and hit a joint, and then go down there and start playing Xbox and put one of these channels in the background. So every once in a while he go say some silly shit. You know he's high. Go do silly shit he says. No average grown ass person would say some of the dumbest shit that they say in the chat room. So you know he high as hell, and he's laughing like a motherfucker because it's funny as shit to him. Because he know he cannot be spotted out. You can't fool
Mm-hmm.
him out. So
Yeah.
and then I believe there are certain these guys come up in here who don't never camera up. I think they're women
Mm.
with men names
Mm.
coming in to corrupt the fucking channel, and you
That's a
thinking,
possibility.
you thinking that'd be a man. They don't went out there and got an avatar and got a man's name, and they try to talk like a man, like they, and they just against any goddamn thing. They just want to keep this shit stirring up, this fire stirring up. So you don't know. See, this is why I say is you wouldn't hire a motherfucker to come and work in your company who he fill out an application and you talk to him over the internet. This motherfucker got an avatar. You ain't never seen this motherfucker. So you go hire him to come in there and fuck around with some of your equipment that costs $500,000 and fuck your shit up. And you ain't never seen this motherfucker. You wouldn't know
Mm-hmm.
him from Casper the Ghost. So that's what I'm saying is I don't see no grown men acting like that. I don't see what grown men will have a problem showing their face. I know you don't have a problem with, but I do have a problem with. Sometime or another, you gonna have to show your face.
Mm.
And especially you keep coming in my chat room talking shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
If
I always say
you're gonna talk,
yeah.
if you're gonna talk shit, you gotta show yourself. I mean,
Right.
that's part, because I'm like that, because I've had people, come into my chat room and say all kinds of bullshit, but it's usually somebody they don't even have an avatar. They got a fucking letter. All right. They got a fucking S up there, a fucking B, like they don't even have like a picture. They just got a fucking letter up there. Now,
Right.
those people, you can't be in my chat room with that shit. Go
Well,
somewhere else with that shit.
Let me ask you something, TP, because I really respect this brother, because when he first came into this space, he always say what he was about, and what he does. But he say he's there to give brothers game too if they need game, or just even talk to a brother. I know this brother have sit down and talk to brothers who just didn't feel like they wanted to live the next day. And his name is Brother Sir Ism.
Oh yeah,
Shout out to
ism,
Brother
boy.
Sir. Yeah.
Goddamn right.
And
Ism, man, that dude.
right. And I have to say about Sir Ism that one of the things he said when he first started coming in challenge, that a lot of these brothers are, I think it was him or one of these, a bitch broke, and they didn't need to go out and knock a bitch. You need to come outside and see some sunlight and walk around, talk to a damn woman, stop tapping on the goddamn chat room and all these other goddamn spaces, OnlyFans and other. Like the motherfucker, the only relationship they don't have was Pornhub. So what I'm trying to say is, we gotta, when we're talking to people, and maybe that's why our conversation keep going around in circles, is we can't move forward, is because we talking to the same simpleton motherfuckers that ain't really don't never want any success. They just want to sit around and complain. I got 5 people in my house like that right now. Not a day that they don't get up and start complaining 90% of the day about the shit that don't happen or ain't gonna happen. So I come to the point that you got a lot of people on these channels who are using these channels for therapy too. Just like you say, they don't have nobody to talk to. These motherfuckers could not go in the street and have a decent conversation with all that silly shit they type over there in the chat room.
Yeah.
Just think about walking up to a woman talking like they silly ass adolescent. The shit we used to say in the 9th grade. Here you as a grown 30-year-old man, and you walking down the street talking like that. Who the fuck want to be with you?
It's like my man, my brother, shout out to Brother Black Ram, boy. He says, this is therapeutic, man. I think it's therapeutic for people, and I'm happy. I'm happy that this provides that, because if being on YouTube helps you, gets you through whatever thing you're going through, I mean, I'm all for it. Okay. I'm all for it. If it helps your ass, fine. I mean, you won't get any complaints from me. I won't ridicule you or call you anything. But on the other side of that, if you are a person who just lives vicariously through YouTube, it's not therapy anymore. It's fantasy. It's not
Right.
therapy. It's fantasy if
It's a
you're living
fantasy
through it.
sphere. Hey,
Yeah,
think
you're
about
living
this.
through it.
Yeah, think about this, TP. One day we wake up and we hear somebody on the news who use an avatar that's been up and down the space, went in the house and killed his baby's mama and killed all the kids. And the first thing he says out of his mouth is, I heard it on Black Manosphere. We got a movement. We'll fuck them kids. Oh man, where you think this space goes from there? See, this is the
Uh,
scary part of this shit.
well, if you listen, if you listen to certain parts of YouTube, right? If you listen to enough of this YouTube stuff, people will always tell you that, the people from here, the people on YouTube, are influencing people and all this kind of nonsense. I just don't believe that, man. I mean, with all the shit that's on TV, with all the shit that's in the movies, I mean, I don't think that uh uh the internet itself can be I just don't think the internet
This is some
itself could
funny
be
shit.
could be
Just think about
held
this, TV.
responsible for all this
Hey,
crap.
TV, just think about this. Now, think about this now. Now, I'm going to put it in a real picture where you can see what I'm talking about. Think about this. You go to the theater, right? And every time you go to the theater, you see this same motherfucker sitting down there looking at a motherfucker assassinate people in the neighborhood. And he's there every day watching that movie. Wouldn't
Mhm.
that be some scary shit?
Yeah, it would
If you
be
work there,
odd.
just think about it. If you work there and you see this motherfucker coming in there and look at that same movie every day, never really
Mhm.
speak to you, never really say it to you, come and get him some popcorn and tell you not put butter on it and tell you he want the little bit that you dropped on the floor, just put it in his bucket, and he this motherfucker coming in his movie and sitting there watching it the same movie every day.
Mhm.
Look, that's scary shit, and that's what I'm saying. There are some people who really need therapy, and we have to watch what we really say, because we might say it in a joking fashion, but he might hear a association to that every day he comes in there, and he builds up enough nerve to go out there and do some bullshit like that. The manosphere is over.
Yeah, I've heard that for years. The manosphere is over. This
No, no,
gonna happen, all
not
that kind of
no.
stuff. But it's still here.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
mean, I
saying,
heard I heard that
yeah.
same kind of talk years ago, where, oh man, somebody do this, that, and the other thing. This is gonna be over.
No,
Nah,
I
man.
understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying is, look, half the people in my house, I'm gonna say this real low. Half the 23 people in my house, 19 of them are on more than 4 different types of meds. Now, if you met these people in the street, some of them, you would think they were functional people. I run a self-care that is different than board care. That means I don't have to be certificated. I don't have to have a nurse on duty. These people are supposed to be able to do things they do for themselves. But the problem with that is you run into some of these people, you'll think they're totally functional. And at any time, these people could break. Now, these people look at everything on TV from this to that to that to this to that. None of these people really have the internet other than they cellular phones, and most of them don't have cellular phone because they call the fucking ambulance and the police all the time. So I lock their fucking cellular phones up. But what I'm saying to say this, just think about a motherfucker who's living with his woman, who's kicking his ass all the time. He don't feel like he can get a job because he probably got 1 or 2 felonies or 2 felonies. So he can't really go out there. He can get a trucking job or he probably can get a security job, but he don't want to work that shit. He'd rather go out there and sling marijuana or sling some kind of drugs than work that type of shit. Anything has to do with a uniform, because uniform been kicking it in his ass all his life. So he comes into the manosphere, and then you have these jokesters who come in here who take things to the extreme, and he's sitting around and following these motherfuckers around all day long. To me, that's like throwing dynamite in the fucking fireplace. And so we know that Joe Camera can't even be on the fucking cigarette box, just a camera in itself, because it influenced kids to smoke. Now, if our minds are so small that if a fucking camera is on a fucking cigarette pack and you have to remove it because it's going to influence somebody to smoke, well, think about all the smoke that motherfuckers get up and down these YouTube streets. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying is it could happen.
Yeah, it could. But if a person is influenced by something on the internet and they go off and they do something crazy or bizarre and hurt someone, I think that's more of a them problem than the internet's problem, because that person probably would have done it anyway. I don't like to say,
Most
well,
certainly. And you
you
making my
know,
point. You're
yeah, I
making
mean
my point.
they would have
You're
done it
making my
anyway.
point that a
So
weak-minded motherfucker coming over here and where people constantly talking about women in all types of ways, bitches, whores, gorillas, niggas, and niggerettes, and all that type of shit. Fuck the children, fuck the single mother, fuck her with her kids, and he's in that situation and he's not dealing with a full deck in the first place. Yes, he might bust anytime. But when he get anything that he can associate himself with to give him the courage that what he might be doing might be correct, I'm not making us responsible. What I'm saying is these are like the kind of motherfuckers we don't want to be associated with, because if there ever comes an avatar over the fucking news and saying this motherfucker, we went in there and got his computer and he was all up and down the manosphere. And yes, and and this, you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying we are the cause of this crazy motherfucker go do some bullshit like that. But what I am saying, we are setting an arena where he can come in and get confidence that what he's doing is okay, because we do have these silly motherfuckers that come in here and say kill the kids, fuck the kids. She ain't nothing but a gorilla, So now you're devaluing a human life with that kind of language with a sick motherfucker who's living with, listening to you, who was ready to crack anyway. You just gave him a little superpower. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, but you have no way of knowing that, OG.
I understand that.
You have
That's
no
why
way of knowing who's listening to you. I can have a lunatic listening to me right now, and I don't know it. I mean, how would I know that? So, should we censor the speech of brothers because there's lunatics in the world?
No, but what I'm saying is, if I get on the internet right now on my other channels and I say I have something to help you and reverse diabetes, I have to put a disclaimer on every one of my fucking broadcasts that I'm not a doctor. I'm not associated to a doctor. All this come to me from my life experiences, and I have tried these things for many of years, and it's up to you. If you having a problem medical wise, please get in touch with your doctors. I don't see these disclaimers on these channels with some of the stupid shit is said on these fucking channels.
So, should we do that?
Most certainly.
Are you suggesting that we get up here before we start and say, the following broadcast is not endorsed by any doctor, lawyer, or any other medical professional or legal professional? They are strictly the points, views, and opinions of people who come up on the platform. Do we have to do that every time we
Most radio stations, most controversial radio stations do that today. And this
mm,
is what I'm talking about: having power without responsibility.
but do we really have power though? Like, I mean,
If
I
you
don't
broadcasting, you really have just as much power as a radio station. Matter of fact, radio stations is joining YouTube. Corporations are joining YouTube to broadcast they whatever their brand is, because they see younger people prefer to go on platforms like this than regular TV or the big three.
Mhm.
And so the radio stations that I'm associated with always say a disclaimer before they start their show.
Yeah, I know when I was in radio, depending on what we were talking about, we had to do, somewhat of a disclaimer. Especially, but see, you usually have a disclaimer come on because somebody's going to get up there and they're going to talk about something that, you know, is I don't want to say opinion based, but it may not be truly factual. Because I remember years ago where we interviewed some guy and he claimed to be, some type of psychic or some shit. And when you have people like
Right.
that on, that they don't really show any proof of who they are. They just kind of are there. So you have to kind of give a disclaimer and say, hey, look,
Well,
we
think
don't
about
know
this, TP.
we don't know if this dude's a psychic or not. He just says he is.
Let's think about that. Yeah, you're right. But think about this. Where can you go on any national TV station or any national radio station saying fuck the kids? I don't give a fuck they live or die. Fuck black women, the whores, bitches, apes, and everything else. Where can you go in any level of broadcast and hear that type of language? And not a
Nowhere.
disclaimer or apology comes afterwards.
Nowhere.
This is what I'm
Nowhere.
saying. This is the new technology of broadcasting. There's going to have to be some kind of standard. I'm not saying you have to totally go in and censor people, but there's going to have to be some kind of disclaimer, because when you get a loose cannon like that on your fucking panel or in your chat room and you read the chat and you don't put a disclaimer behind it. I seen Mr. Fantastic start doing stuff like that when he started using the word allegedly. Well, what I'm trying to say, he was trying to protect himself, even talking about controversial topics. At some point in time, we got to understand that we are the media. You can say we professional, amateurs, or whatever. This is the new media for the future. And we got to understand with that, we have power. And whoever
Hmm.
we let on our panels who say some dumb shit like that, we might not let them up as a guest. But if we do a disclaimer from the beginning or in, and as you do maybe a spot like a radio spot, you know what I mean? A DJ drop, and you do your disclaimer at the beginning of your show, or you did it at the end of your show, you pretty much protect yourself. But when you're
Hmm.
not doing that, you can set yourself up. I don't give a fuck if you do have an LLC. You can set yourself up for some bullshit. Believe it or not, I run through this because I've been into the medical as far as natural healing. And these are the things that I had to have a conference with a lawyer who told me to protect myself. There's certain things I have to put on my channel. Now, my channel is not as loose cannon, other than the authority, me coming in as an authority figure who's talking about natural herbs and stuff. But I'm saying we have discussion where people come from all types of background, and in any given time, they say some dumb shit.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. As a
But they're
group,
not. But they're not really giving advice though. Like when you got a couple people on, got a few people on the stream, it's more so as a free flow discussion. It's not like somebody's getting up there and giving psychology advice, or the only type of advice that you really hear that you can say, okay, they're actually giving advice is when they're talking about dating and mating and women and things of that nature. And guess what? I don't think there's no qualifications or standards to that. I mean, because if it was, a lot of channels would be shut down. Because
I
think
understand. I understand
think
what you're
about it.
saying.
Think about it.
And
Think
that
about it,
course,
OG.
And that
if
course, I
if you
understand
get
what
up
you're
here,
saying.
if you get up here and you talk about the fucking coronavirus the wrong way, and what you're saying does not match up with what the science says, they will pull your shit down.
Oh,
They
one of my
will
channels
strike.
pulled down
They,
for that now.
they will strike your shit
No,
if
no,
what
listen to what
you're
I'm saying.
if what you're saying doesn't match up with their science. They will strike your shit.
Yeah, you're right. But what I'm saying and to say that, my brother, is when it comes to believing in the community or the community, see, a lot of people get up here and say a lot of shit because they don't think they're gonna have to be accountable for that because it
Mm-hmm.
haven't got to that yet. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying that just like my father who drove drunk every weekend for 10 years and never had an accident and never got pulled over by the police, but it was that one occasion when he did, he had to pay the consequences of his action. And what I'm saying, for us to be so smart and so intelligent, even though the person is not coming in as an expert, but a loose lips that sank ships to say something to as volatile as I wish all the old people die. I wish fuck the kids. I don't give a fuck about them kids. Fuck the hoes, fuck the bitches, and all black women are apes. When you start saying things like that, what happens when a person who with power comes along and say, YouTube, you go pay the same attention to that kind of talk as you go say against the LBG, whatever fucking alphabet they got now, or the Jews, or the Asian people, or anybody else. Even though
Mm-hmm.
the people are black, we're not going to let them talk in that manner. Because I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna get that way, and we don't understand this. We think it's just gonna be loose, loose, loose. We can say anything. It's gonna be like Comic View or something like this. These are not comedians. This forum is open up to people 18 and something years old. Most channels are, but a 18 mind is still a mind that could be influenced, especially if it's a mind with mental challenges.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that threat comes from.
Mm. Well, you're going back to you're going back to censorship then if you're saying, well, certain stuff can't be said up here. Certain stuff can't be talked about up here. Certain names can't be called, certain people can't be talked about or spoke about. I mean, that's what you're doing now. You're that's
You're already
censorship.
doing that. You already
That's
said you're doing
censorship.
that. No, listen what I'm saying. When you can't talk about certain special groups, you're already been censored anyway. The only difference is no one black is making you accountable for the bullshit or something. The toxic tones of communication is said in through these channels. That's what I'm talking about. See, but you already been censored. You've been censored, and you know what to say and what not to say. And I'm not talking about you personally. I'm just talking about
Hmm.
all these channels who say the most egregious things about the black community. They are only allowed to do that because no one is making them accountable for it.
Well, could it be? Could it be that when you got black folks talking about other black folks, the powers that be,
They don't give a
the
fuck.
the YouTube intelligentsia, if you will, if black people are talking about other black people, they really don't care about that.
Right? Kill
Um,
you, kill each other.
yeah,
Kill your
they
whole,
don't
whole
really
fucking
care.
race. I don't care.
I
Kill
don't
each
think
other.
they. I really don't think they care. How bad we talk about each other, the things we
That's what
say
I'm
about
saying.
each other. I don't think they
That's
care.
that is exactly what I'm saying is that they don't care that you degrade yourself. They wouldn't let no one other color come in and do it. But as long as you do it to yourself, it's more entertaining to them than it is to us because they know they are not allowed to say these things, but then they can sit around and say, we did a fantastic job.
Oh,
We should
so
win the Medal of
wait a
Honor.
minute, OG.
We
Wait a
should
minute.
win the
Are
Medal of
you
Honor.
saying? Are you saying that the white YouTube intelligentsia, the executives, the people who pull the strings, they are living vicariously through the black people on YouTube who talk about other black people? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
not that ain't what I'm actually what I'm saying because they don't care less. But I'm saying the people who are normal, just like us, they get up in the morning, go to work, do the things they do. The younger generation of the white people. You think the white people, women, come on, you honestly think the white people buy 80% of rap because they can dance to that shit? They buy that shit so they can regurgitate what the motherfuckers is saying in it.
Hmm. Hmm. No, I don't. I mean, I don't doubt it. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't have the data on that, but you know, the thing
Well,
is this. The thing is this, right? We are black.
now that's
We,
some funny. I'm not trying to get serious. It's shit is just funny to me. That's
well,
all like I'm saying. The shit is funny to me because the Klan member can sit back and say we can stop all this goddamn cross burning and all this bullshit. Only thing we had to do is turn on YouTube, and these motherfuckers will tell our kids
yeah, but I
what we
mean,
used to tell them.
don't you think that's a little extreme to say that though, OG?
Oh
Because
hell no!
I mean, there
You know
is.
how proud white people feel like when they can get up in their room, they can say that nigga word shit, and they can saying that shit, and then when they get around you, the motherfucker give you that oop and that whoop, and then they go into the next verse.
Oh
But
yeah,
when they in their
I
room,
under.
they singing that shit left and right.
Well, we go back to. I mean, I understand that part of it. You know, I mean, it's all like, oh, I have black friends, and then meanwhile they sit at the dinner table and say nigga all day. I get that, but aren't we going back? Like I said again, I mean, aren't we going back to censorship, and aren't we saying, well, let's not say certain things because white folks are watching? There's
No,
nothing
let me
we
ask
could
you that
there's
question.
nothing we can do about that.
I
I
know,
mean,
but let me ask
you
you a
don't know
question
who's watching you.
because you keep bringing up the word censorship. All right,
Yes.
isn't it we have censorship in these spaces anyway?
Yes, to a degree. To a
What? Hey,
degree.
wait, 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 wait,
But
wait, wait.
you're
But
talking total
they,
censorship now.
but I'm saying that censorship protects their community, whatever community need to be protected. Well, we can't get in there. We just okay. Let me just give you a thing. We just had a white woman about a week ago. With what his name Scott? What's his name? A rapper who 9 people got killed at that concert, right?
Hmm. Travis Scott.
Travis Scott. I got a
Yes.
pair of his shoes. I think somebody in his crew gave it to me. I don't know how I got them, but I damn sure didn't pay $2,200 for them. Look, a woman who wasn't a headliner and was part of that concert got
Hmm.
up and pissed in a man's mouth, pulled her pants down on stage, and one of the acts, lead singer, and pissed in a man's face. The shit looked like Niagara Fall coming out between her legs, where you
Hmm.
actually seen everything. And this was the same concert. The day say kids was at. Matter of fact, one of the kids I think was young as what 15 or 14 years old. They
Hmm.
got trampled on. Now, I remember when the little fat girl was at the Lakers game and she went and twerked her ass up. I seen content creators do shows on her about a whole fucking month. She's a
Hmm.
light skinned rapper. I don't know who the fuck she is. I don't keep up with them people. But they did show on her about a whole month. Every content pretty much in the manosphere was talking shit about it,
Hmm.
right? Here it is, 9 people get killed. A woman gets on stage who looks like she's white, but I think she might have some black, and I don't know. Who calls a man out of the audience. He lays down in the middle of the stage. She pulls down her pants and piss in his mouth.
Hmm.
Squat over him and piss in his mouth. And not only did it was done on stage, but they showed it on all the screens. I didn't hear one content creator, and she was one of them passport type sisters because she did have that background. And she comes from the LBGQXYZ MP every goddamn other alphabet. I didn't see one content creator but myself who said anything about it. And then we want to talk about behavior. Like over this across the street, the behavior is different because we always have these brothers try to compare other groups of women that are better than our women in behavior. And they did this shit live, and it's on YouTube still today. Go
Yeah, I
look
think
at the lady
I know
who
what you're talking about. I know what
right.
you're talking about.
So you see what I'm saying is, I think we pick on the low fruit of the tree because it's easy and we're not going to be accountable for it because there's not enough power in the black community to fight back on it.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that because if it wakes up tomorrow, some organization go to YouTube and said, you go have to hold these people accountable, what and how they call names in these groups. And I think when the white man come along and says that you can't do it anymore, then we're willing to do the same thing somebody who goes down my street and plays their music loud, so loud it seems like it's about to crack my fucking windows. But as soon as the police pull up and he happened to be white, most likely, then all of a sudden they cut the music down so low that these motherfuckers can't even hear it themselves in the car. But they don't give me enough respect, and they come down here in 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning time, busting their music up and like that. And this is what I'm saying is, are we a people who pick on the lower fruit just because we know we're not going to be held accountable for the bullshit that we say about this group?
Well, I mean, if you put it like that, I'll say this: we have a lot of people on here who do bitch and moan about the white man and what the white man does and how he's the devil and how he's this and how he's that. But they tell it to us. Those same people, they don't go to those white boys channels with that shit. They don't go to those white supremacists with that shit. They stay right here. They stay right here telling us about it. So I can say the same thing that, y'all talk about the white man, what the white man do, what the white man is, how bad he is, how evil he is, how he's supreme over us, and all this kind of stuff. But y'all are always preaching it to us. Why
Stop right
not
there.
go
Stop right
and
there.
preach
Stop
it
right
to
there.
them?
Wait. Stop right there. Your sister, Sir Ali, did a circuit on every fucking white show that it was. Dr.
I
Clark
know.
went, wait, let me finish.
I know. She's a
Dr.
friend of
Clark,
mine. I know.
wait. I know you know because she had on the show a couple times, so I know y'all friends. Dr. Clark, Henry Clark, I can go name after name after name. They don't come here talking about all their degrees, pumping themselves in front of white people. They actually go in front of, let's say, black people. They actually go in front of white people and challenge them of the information they bring. See, this is the difference. This is why these brothers won't come on these type of channels because most of these people who call them experts on these fucking channels, they couldn't tie a shoe lace to a lot of, and they spend so much time trying to discredit these guys. But none of these guys could hold a cup of water against some of the greats and even the old. And they don't go in front of people and challenge black people. They have seminars or they come to your town and they get the group of people and they put on, they have slideshows and stuff like that. But these people are actually, you got a brother right now in Egypt who's been given commission by Egypt to go and preserve a pyramid over there that's never been done before. So the type of brothers I'm talking about wouldn't even spend their time over here in these fucking channels. Matter of fact, they laugh at me for even coming over here. That's what I'm saying. So when you start talking about the real pro-black brothers and the sisters who are working in the street, they confront what they preach. They don't come and preach to the choir. They go straight to the source. So I know these brothers and sisters. I'm not talking about this new bullshit that black people call themselves B1, B2, B3, and 4. No, I'm talking about the real authentic Pan-African brothers and sisters, not this new
Mhm.
wave of this shit. I'm talking about brothers who can go to a country and have a welcome back home December the 12th in Ghana, where they're building a community for people of America to come back home. How many brothers talk about that? December the 12th, the shit been publicized for 6 months. Not one content creator have ever said it but me. So brothers like Paul, who in the chat room say OG can't be serious. Yes, motherfucker, I'm serious. Just as serious as your lady going to work while you staying home playing the fucking Xbox. I'm that fucking serious.
But how do you know? But how do you know that him specifically? You know, when I say that, I'm speaking in
For the
generalities.
same reason he
How
said
do
I
how
can't
do
be
you know
serious. Hey, wait a minute.
specifically
For
that
the
he
same
does
reason,
that?
ain't nothing I said up here. You might, hey, brother X, you might disagree with what I'm saying, but ain't no way you ask me is I'm serious. You can listen to my tone and tell me, can tell a person, a real man, that I'm serious and what I believe that I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's these weak, no back brothers who give us a bad name, and I'm talking about the whole manosphere. They give us a bad name because we out there doing the work, and we take the time and try to bring you stuff. I'm talking about young brothers and old brothers, but you have these old brothers who have these accusing spirit because they know they goddamn mind ain't right, their spirit ain't right, their money ain't right, their girl
Mm-hmm.
ain't right, and they come in these channels to corrupt what's really supposed to be done in the black manosphere.
Yeah, but there's no control over that. Like, okay,
You can't
you
tell
said,
one who's bitch broke.
yeah. Well, I try not to judge brothers. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Because
just saying, you wait, you
brothers
don't
I
have
don't
to.
deal with, I just
Oh
don't
yeah,
deal with.
okay, but
So
you
I
pretty
just don't
much
deal with.
tell one who's bitch
But
broke.
but
He
this
ain't
is
got
the thing.
nothing good to say about a woman. That's one who's
Don't
bitch broke.
don't you think that you are ultimately giving people power, OG, when you say, okay, y'all need to be doing this, y'all need to be doing that? And isn't that to tell someone that they should be doing this or they shouldn't be doing that? Aren't you putting yourself in a position of a dictatorship because you're saying, well,
I'm not
y'all
telling
shouldn't
you.
be talking about this. Y'all
No, I
shouldn't be
ain't saying
talking
that.
about that.
I never
Y'all
said
should
that.
be talking about
No,
this.
I never did say that. I just said learn how to protect yourself with a disclaimer. That
Hmm.
was my whole point. You can talk
Hmm.
about any subject you want to, but learn how to protect yourself. It's just like you, like before 10 years ago, wasn't nobody putting LLC on a house. But then somebody came along and found out that was a way to protect yourself from being sued or lose your house. So they went and they seen other people do it in other communities, and they found out it works.
Hmm.
It can protect your assets as far as your house. So only thing I'm telling brothers is I don't give a fuck what you talking about. But if you're a content creator, learn how to protect yourself with a disclaimer. That's all I'm saying. Y'all can talk about any fucking thing you want to. You can talk about flies, fuck it. And the way it's going, that's what it seemed like it's going in the first place. That you had to read 20-something books to be able to get some pussy. Look, man, I was getting pussy at 11 years old and I ain't never read a fucking book. Probably couldn't even read. And that's the most natural thing in the world. It's so easy to get, and these motherfuckers don't make it like rocket science. If you don't do this, she won't fuck you. If you won't do this, she won't fuck you. If you don't wear this, she won't fuck you. If you don't put on this cologne, she won't fuck you. Oh, and then you got the other brother saying, oh, fuck it. We don't even need any pussy anymore. I'm not living my life. I need to get the bag. Okay, motherfucker, you get the bag. What are you getting the bag for? To jack your dick on Pornhub? You're getting the bag so you can be an established person in the world where you can have choices.
But OG, come on now. I mean, if you got a problem, and I'm a true believer in this, man. If you have a problem with what a person is doing, man, on their page, on their website, on their Twitter, man, you're choosing to watch their stuff. It's not like someone's got the 50 cal at your head and saying, watch this guy. You're choosing to watch this stuff. So if you're choosing to watch this, you can't now turn around and say, "Well, I don't like
move
that you do this. I don't like that you
you
do
move the
that."
goalposts on me there for a
How
minute.
how
Well,
how am I moving the
you
goalposts?
move the goalpost because I never said anything about watching it. I said
Well,
the con. I'm saying the
you
host.
have to be
Listen,
watching it to know
listen,
what
listen.
they're
But
doing.
let me get it in now. Let me get it in. Let me tap dance a little bit. You tap dance a little bit. Let me tap dance a little
Oh
bit.
boy, here we
Okay.
go.
Here
Here
we
we
go.
go. Go
But
ahead.
we old. You know what? We old brothers. We can have a battle out fight, and then at the end of the night, we say, "But fuck, that was a good show." You know what I mean? We ain't
Yeah.
going around there with our
Go ahead.
lips and
Go
going to
ahead.
sleep with our fists balled up and all
Go
that
ahead.
bullshit. But
Go
look here.
ahead, OG.
Look here. I have never said that these idiots can get on the YouTube and talk the shit they talk. What I'm
Hmm.
telling you is the host of the show, the content creator, learn how to protect your assets and protect your name and your brand. That's all
Okay.
I'm saying. So, because every once in a while you go have somebody come on your channel and say something silly and say something stupid. And then you have these people who want to come on there and ruin your channel and say, get to the edge where you can get a strike with some bullshit that they don't say it. You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So I'm not
Hmm.
talking about the content creators. I'm talking about the people that we let up in some of the fucking chats that we read live that
Hmm.
could really get you close to that, that edge of that street. That's all I'm
Hmm.
saying, man. I'm saying have the freedom to say what the fuck you want to say. Really. I'm a comedian. I think people have the freedom to say what I'll be the last one to try to censor somebody. But what I am saying is we got to know that we are living in a time and in a place. At this time, it may be okay to say this shit. Think about some of the older comedians could even do the same jokes today that they did yesterday. Some
Hmm.
of the old shows that played back in the 70s can't even be played on TV anymore. It can only be played on cable because some of the content that they speaking on that regular TV won't even let them on. So don't act as if we don't have an evolution. I'm just saying if you take your time to build your channel, you take your time to do the things you need to do in life to because this is your hobby. This is just something you just like to do. You like me. You once you're in the radio, you always go stay in some kind of broadcast. So
Hmm.
this is what you like to do, but don't let one of these non-skilled, only can text type brothers get in your chat room or get on your panel who you say and I say can't even make a dog eat at home. Get up there and fuck up your day and fuck up your channel. That's
Yeah,
all I'm saying.
I understand that, but I also understand that we live in like a PC kind of thing, a political correctness. But see, that's just it. They only expect you to be politically correct about certain things because they kind of pick and choose, what they want censored and what they don't. Um, like certain people on the internet can get away with certain things, and then someone else cannot get away with that certain thing. Um, I say that because my stuff has been struck, a couple times over some of the stupidest of things, and then turn around and someone else can do the exact same thing, and they won't strike that person. That's what I'm talking about when you talk about that PC thing where you say, okay, well, you guys got to be, you have to be concerned about, your brand and what people say on it and, what you say on it. And you need a disclaimer. And even with that, they're still going to pick and choose who they mess with based on what they're talking about, what the subject matter is. And not only that, a lot of times when you find yourself jammed up with the internet, it's not even like the white folks that are doing it. It's the people who are flagging you. It's the people who are contacting YouTube about you. Because I'm a true believer that if the white folks really gave a damn about what Negroes did on here, a lot of us would have been off the air a long time ago.
Because they don't really care
That's what I'm
because
saying.
no. You're saying the same thing I'm saying. They don't really care because you are throwing a fucking nuclear bomb on your own community. And that's what they don't give a fuck because hey, it's y'all. All right.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is, as the YouTube Me Too group movement and any other movement in this country, when one person who comes along who's totally offended what's
Mhm.
been said and have the right resources to bring YouTube to the table and say, look here, you don't allow these people to use this word, that word, this word, that word, this word, that word for a race of people. But over here, you let people use this word, that word, this word, this word, that for a race of people. Why are you being hypocritical? If it's a word, is defaming that community, then why don't you use the same governor to govern all that type of speech, regardless who's saying it? Now there will be a person who comes up and who's able to carry that plan through. And that's why
Mhm.
I'm saying, in this case, protect yourself with the disclaimer. Maybe you might just get a warning versus a strike because you did have a disclaimer in the beginning of your broadcast and then at the end of your broadcast. I'm just looking out for the brothers who put the time and the worth in to try to bring um, entertainment and information, and let some knucklehead come in there who might just don't even like you, but acting like he's rolling with you and try to turn your world upside down.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, OG, but when it comes to something like this, especially something like YouTube, it's a private company, so it's not going to be policed by the state or the federal government. The FCC doesn't have any control over this because it's internet based, right? So the only people who are going to police it is the people who run it. And I say again, they pick and choose what they police, what they enforce, who they sanction. So when you got a private entity and the people in charge of that private entity are calling the shots, it's never going to be perfect, no matter what you
I
do.
understand, but
It's not going to be perfect.
I think you made a clerical error when you say the FCC don't have any power or any broadcasting in the United States. That's not
No, on
completely
the
true.
internet they don't. On the internet they don't. I
Listen,
mean,
listen. They
internet's not
control.
regular.
They
It's not regulated by the FCC.
Okay. Listen again. Everything that has any broadcast abilities in the United States is ran by the Pentagon. Now, it might not be in in certain sector because in the FCC because they haven't caught up with the technology as far as how they go regulate it. But all
Mhm.
broadcasts in the state of 50 states in the United States is regulated by the Pentagon. If you think I'm lying, get on the fucking channel and say some weak shit like bombs and all that other kind of shit. You go blow up shit and you'll find out it's regulated.
Oh yeah, if you get on here and start saying something, start making terroristic threats, of course, because what's going to happen is this private entity is going to forward that information to somebody, someone who wants to hear it. Yes, just like if you get up here and start, talking about, you're from a particular group and you're going to do a particular thing. Of course, that, but I mean, there's no way to regulate people calling women hoes, calling black folks niggas, saying fuck the kids. There's nobody who's going to regulate that on the internet. That's why you can do it on the internet. You think someone can go on a major network like ABC, CBS, NBC, or anything like that and sit up there and say fuck the kids?
I
Or get
know
up there and say
because you know
black women are hoes?
it's
Nowhere in
regulated.
hell.
It's regulated by the FCC. And when I'm
Yes,
telling
that
you,
is heavily
okay,
regulated.
okay,
You can't even
and
do it on a terrestrial radio station
right,
unless
and what
it's
I'm
like
saying is,
satellite or some shit.
what's not regulated by the FCC is still regulated. Any broadcast is still regulated by the Pentagon.
Yeah, but
Any.
not not regulated to the point where they're going to stop you from calling each other's bitches and hoes and niggas. Not
Listen,
regulated to that point.
listen what I'm saying. I guess I didn't make myself clear. It's only because a group of people haven't got together. And for the person, Paul, who says that I just want him to kick off everybody who don't like me. Look, motherfucker, let me just tell you something. Believe it or not, there's only about 6 motherfuckers like me in this space. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. So if that was the case, then anytime I got on this channel, then I had to kick everybody off that goddamn channel but the 6 motherfuckers. No, that is not what I'm saying. And that's what you hearing is because that's what you want to hear. Versus you hearing me trying to protect the creator of the channels and say there will be a day very soon in the near future that a lot of the shit y'all say on these channels will not be okay. That's what I'm saying. And if you don't learn how to protect yourself, you'll be some of the first channels brung down without a disclaimer.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talk about a lot of different shit up here, and I know me, I'm probably not gonna get up here and use a damn disclaimer every time I get up here and start talking, because I never know what the conversation is about. I don't know where it's gonna lead. You know, I have a topic, you know, it can get up here and go real calm and real smooth, and the next thing you know, it can freaking explode, and I'm throwing Negroes off. So
Hey,
you
I
never
can't
know.
believe you said a man that works in radio don't know how to make a disclaimer to go in the beginning of his radio
No,
when he
that's
don't have the
not what.
name.
No, I didn't say I don't know how.
Can you
I
just put it
said
in your
I'm
description?
I'm
Would
not
it be
going
too much to
to.
put it? Would it be too much to put it in your description?
Why do I gotta put a disclaimer in my shit? If you don't like what I'm talking about, just don't watch my stuff. I mean,
No,
why do I
listen.
gotta be like,
Let,
well, some of this stuff you hear
no,
you may
I'm
not
not
like?
talking about you specifically. I'm talking about you protecting what you have built. That's what you're not hearing. I'm saying.
I don't feel like I built anything here, man. This is a freaking YouTube page, man. Like,
I know, I understand, but you come on now. You put in time now. We always say time is money. Now we can't have it both
yes,
ways.
I have
Either
put in
time is money,
I
or is
have
it
put
not?
in time, but I'm not so serious about YouTube where I'm going to do all this magical stuff. I mean, I'm not going to get too off the hook. You know, I'm not going to have naked images or nothing like that. Yeah, but at the same time, I'm not so into YouTube where I need to take all these extra precautions. If they strike me, they strike me, man. That's because I've been struck before. I've
Okay.
been demonetized before. And you know what I did? You know what I did when they demonetized me? I made a goddamn commercial and I said, YouTube, kiss my black ass.
And you
That's what
took
I
the
did.
hey, you took the time to say that.
Yep.
But
I
you know,
told him to kiss my
wait.
ass.
Yeah, well, that was a good thing for you to tell her. But I'm saying you took the time to say that, and you know you're a smart, intelligent man. There would
Mhm,
take no time for you put a disclaimer where it become a default or template for your channel. Every time you go up, it'll go in your description automatically. Just putting
mhm,
simple words in there. Maybe y'all need to go over to this channel where this white boy he teaches people about the strikes and the disclaimers and the fair use. He breaks it all down. They even got a whole channel, CC Creative Common, that they have breaking it down. And maybe this is not for you, brother X, but maybe this might be for younger brothers who are really using the YouTube to really base a income and residual income every month and work
mhm,
hard to get that first 1,000, and then some clown comes on there and come up there as someone else and put somebody pulling their pants down with their nuts wangling. And so
mhm,
this is what stuff like this is what I'm saying is you have a little fight in you, even if they take your channel down, where you can say, well, this person did this, boom, boom, boom. I have a disclaimer, and it gives you a little bit of more weight. And
mhm,
maybe I'm just speaking to the younger brothers who use YouTube to subsidize their income. Maybe it's not for
mhm.
you, you know. And I think if you just listen to me serious, you think I'm really trying to attack people who comes on and say what the fuck they want to say, because I can hold my own with anybody on fucking
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. There's no better roast than me. I
Mm-hmm.
deal with it for a professional. I'm not an amateur roaster. I did it on stage for almost 9 years. So what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is, I don't have a problem trying to censor someone, but I know that YouTube is already censored because we know what to say and what not to say. And the only reason we know what to say and what not to say, because we know we gonna be held accountable talking about them special groups. And if somebody come on your channel, you will correct them, and you are sensitizing them then, because you know that there's a group out there who will give you pushback and maybe take your channel down. So you stop that talk in the midst of it, or you stop it before it begin. But I'm saying it will be a day that you'll not be able to say certain things to defame the black community or black people as a whole on these
Mm-hmm.
type of communicational devices. That's what I'm saying. Y'all, it's just like when DJ first came in telling people getting equipment. He didn't have to tell you, because you come from a background of broadcasting. I come from a background of broadcasting. There's certain things we don't have to. I don't know if you went. I went to Columbia Broadcasting School. I don't know what broadcasting school did, but if you worked in radio, I'm pretty sure even if you did it from hands on, there's certain things that a lot of these young brothers don't know. And what I'm saying is, if we go be throwing out some coins every once in a while, you know, then we should be trying to polish up some of the things that can protect the brothers who might be using this as far as extra income to subsidize his income from his regular job.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I understand that. If you are, well, I guess it all has to do with what what your channel is about, right? And the seriousness you have, on your channel. If this is a straight up business for you, and this is how you make your living, I get it. It's got to be a certain way, certain stuff you can't say, certain stuff you can't do. You got to have certain setups, certain kind of mics, or certain kind of visuals. I get that part of it, but that's not everybody, right? Um,
I'm just speaking of the
ev-
serious people, like
oh well,
Bernard. Bernard is spending a lot of time
oh yeah, well
investing in his
Brother
studio.
Bernard got that setup. Shout out to
Right.
Brother
Listen
Bernard
what I'm just
Riley. I
saying.
mean, he
Shout
got a
out, but
nice
I'm
setup
saying, right.
because
He's
he
spending a
takes it.
lot of
He obviously takes it very seriously. All right,
right.
this is very serious for him. Um,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm speaking on to brothers who might be coming up looking at examples like Bernard, or even as yourself, who
no, don't use
you
me as
no
an
no no
example,
no
y'all.
no
Y'all don't
no
want to
no
be like
no
my
no
ass.
no. Listen what I'm just saying. Listen what I'm really trying to say is, you have been into that professional realm, and this
Mhm,
right here is just a plaything for you now. But if the push came to the shove, you can drop a lot of dimes on people and give them some information that help them not only make their channel grow, but give them some leeway on certain things and directions and stuff, because you have that in you, which you don't do it now as
mhm,
far as a national broadcast other than YouTube, but you came from that. And I'm saying,
mhm,
and when I see a brother like Bernard who's trying to go to the next level of his broadcast, and somebody comes up there who might steal uh T the prophet of thought brain, or steal your logo, go on his channel and probably have someone in like, is that you, Brother X? And then he have you recorded, yeah, that's me. And then he said, yeah, that's Brother X, because you got your voice, but he already don't clip your voice. You understand?
mhm,
Now when he brings him up, he is bam. He got a fuck scene going on in his goddamn window.
mhm.
So what I'm trying to say is, there's no way you can stop something like that, but there's ways that you can at least have a little bit more protection. That's all I've been saying since I've been having this conversation, as far as that point.
Yeah, well, like I'll say again, I guess it's all based on, how serious you are about, your channel, and how serious you are about, following particular rules, and how serious you are about enforcing said rules. Um, to be honest with you, I mean, I like YouTube. I do it because I like it. I don't make a lot of money at it. I mean, most of the months I don't even make my payout threshold. You know, I mean, because where I got my payout threshold at, sometimes I don't even make. I don't even make it. I don't even make it. I have to wait till the following month before I even see a dime. And when the money do come through, I take that shit and spend it on cigars and dog food. I mean,
I know
that's
you
about
do.
all.
I mean,
That's
we
about
don't
all.
have that
That's about
conversation.
yeah. That's about all it covers. You
Yeah,
know, cigars
right.
and a big bag of dog
And
food for
dog
my
food.
grizzly bear out in
Yeah,
the backyard.
right.
You know,
And
I'm not
but
getting
you know,
rich
there
off
are
of
other
YouTube,
brothers.
man. Not getting
There's
rich
other
off of it.
brothers. Right. There's other brothers looking at Kevin Samuels and even some of the stuff O'Shea, Angry Man. Um, even when DJ Cooter came in talking about people that need to up their mic and up their visual and up a lot of other stuff. Man, look how much pushback. Now that's a young brother. That's not even an old brother. But he
Mhm,
understands technology and he was willing to give his because he was giving all this advice out for free. Man, they must have drugged that brother up and down the fucking street just because
mhm,
he wanted to improve a certain standard in the black manosphere. And people were like, well, I've been doing this shit on my cellular phones and I don't need to do this and I don't need, you see what I'm saying? And then
mhm,
comes along a Kevin Sanders who get one good hit from World Star, and now he's over 1.5 million. And then look at his setup, look at his
mhm.
microphone, look at everything. So sometimes brothers are get nailed to the cross by just trying to help because some people are content in their same bullshit and they never want to grow. I seen nightclubs go out of business for that. It's because I've been around a long time. Seen nightclubs go
Mhm.
out of business. Motherfuckers suck up all the money in the city, never increase the light show, never increase the sound in the club. And as soon as another club come, his shit is just pretty much he can put the padlock on it. So what I'm trying to say is a lot of times when brothers come in, they come with constructive criticism. And if you listen to it long enough, you'll see it's to help you, not to step on you.
Mhm,
But we are in a space where everybody wants to be the master of ceremony. And
mhm.
especially the cheerleaders on the sideline in the chat room, who are most of them great supporters. But then you have the knuckleheads who wants to just keep your chat room in nothing but the negative field.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're talking about Negroes, man. You know, there's so many different types. All right, it's not like we're all this one big giant Negro. I mean, there's so many different types of Negroes. There's smart Negroes. There's dumb Negroes. There's level-headed Negroes. There's freaking hyperbolic Negroes. There's honest Negroes. There's dishonest Negroes. I mean, there's so many different types of Negroes, right? And when you're talking about something like this, man, when you talk about media, when you talk about YouTube, whatever it is, I mean, it's a mixed bag, man. I mean, some people are going to have a problem with you no matter what you do. And likewise, some people are only going to have a problem with you if they don't like you. Likewise, some people are never going to have a problem with you no matter what bullshit you say because they like you. I
And
mean,
that's a given. That's a
that's
given.
just how the business works. I mean,
But
that's
that's a
how this whole
given.
thing works.
Well, that's a given, but I still say there is a way to call certain people out who are disrupted in this
Mhm,
space.
mhm,
And I ain't the only one who said it. I mean, Tri City have said it. The MOT has said it. A lot of people have said it. That this is one of the greatest challenges of the black manosphere is to being able to point out the people who are just here to disrupt it versus
mhm.
grow it.
Yeah, but there's nothing you can do to stop them. I mean, you can't stop these. That's my problem. When people think they can actually stop somebody from doing something. Oh, I'm gonna call them out. I'm gonna put an end to this. How? By making a video? You
No,
making
but
a
but you can
video
make it
is
uncomfortable. You can make it
stopping this
uncomfortable.
person?
Yeah, but you can make them uncomfortable.
How do you know you're making them uncomfortable? How do you know that?
I think me and you old enough to know that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, how do you know you are affecting someone else's thought pattern just because you made a video about them. You think,
No,
oh, I
I ain't
got
talking
you
about.
because I made a
Nobody.
video
I
about
don't.
you.
Look. I don't go that approach is, but I think Bernard do a good uh, uh, approach to that. There's certain standards he has in his chat room, and when people come in there and do certain things, then he has a way of getting rid of their ass to go against what he's trying to do. Who's coming there to corrupt his channel, not for his channel to be entertainment and information and keeping it afloat. But there are certain people coming in there who just and I mean, that's what the people with the rent supposed to do. The people with the
Mhm.
rents is not job just to sit there and give out web pages and cash out. It's there to monitor what people are saying in your chat room. And
Yeah,
when they
but
do say,
isn't that you controlling what you can control? Again, I mean, you can only control what you can control. You can control your page because if you want to, you can turn your damn chat room right off.
no,
You
certainly.
turn it off. You turn it off and nobody can say nothing. And of course, you can control who comes, onto your page because they can't come in unless you let them up. I mean, you can control what you can control. That's where I'm at with it. Like, I'm only going to
Okay.
try to control what I can control. I'm not going to try to control anything outside of this rectangle, man.
But I don't
I don't
think
have any control over that.
okay, but I don't think anything I said up to this point is uncontrollable.
It is uncontrollable if you're telling people they shouldn't be doing this. They need to do a disclaimer. They need to do all that. You are trying to tell them how to run their thing.
No, there's a difference in controlling somebody and giving someone information that maybe they can use. They can use it or not. I mean, you give out information all the time, but if the
Mhm.
person chooses to use it or not use it, that's up to them. But
Yeah, it reaches
then
who it
they can't
reaches.
never then they can't never come along and say, "Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know how much power a disclaimer have if I put it at the beginning of my show and at the end of my show. I didn't know how much power that could be."
Who's the disclaimer for, though? Who's it for? Who would it be for? Who?
It
Why are
would
you putting?
be,
Why are you putting that disclaimer on your video? Why would you do it?
oh, why do the radio station put it there?
Well, the radio station puts it on there because we may have some quack up there who may say something, and we have to let you know that guess what? The opinions expressed by this station is not the opinions of the station. It's the opinions of this quack that we got up here today.
Okay, okay. Now you answered your own question. And even
Yeah,
not only did you answer it, you laughed at it. You answered your own question.
yeah. I mean, because we would have
That's
to do
exactly
that
what I
if
said. Some
if
quack
we,
gonna come up and say some bullshit
yeah.
that get your channel striked or whatever. You put a disclaimer there. It's not
But
100% guaranteed.
this is the
It's not
thing,
100%
OG.
guaranteed that you won't get the strike, but at least you will have something that you can base an argument why you shouldn't get one.
Yeah, but OG, this is the thing. We would only do that if we had, like some quote unquote weirdo that was coming up there. If I was to bring like because Sister Ali came on my channel many a times, I never we never did a disclaimer. She come up there and say what she say, and that would be it. We never we never were too concerned with it. We only had to do that shit when we had whack jobs. Come on, the so-called psychics and the people of that nature. I mean, if I bring somebody on now that's a medical doctor or a psychologist, I don't have to use like a disclaimer. I mean, this person is credentialed, so they're going to go from what they know. And
Not if he's speaking against the whatever the CDC is saying in Atlanta. You can bring a doctor. I have seen it done. I had doctors on my show that was well educated in the field that they was in, and I got a strike for them speaking against what the CDC said as the guideline for this
yeah,
macaroni.
well, you have
So
to.
don't act as
Well, you have
because
to
you got an
go.
expertise.
Well,
Don't
you
act
have to
as
go
if
along. You have to go
I
along
understand,
with
but
their science. I
the
mean,
way
if
you
you
said the way you just said it is even if they are professional and what's the name, you don't have to. Yes, you do. If their opinion is different and whatever the CDC is saying, whatever the medical field is saying, or any topic they may be talking to.
Oh yeah,
If
I
they,
know that. I know that.
right.
That's
Okay, so
that's why they do what they do with the COVID thing. Now, I've had many doctors. I've had quite a few doctors come on and talk about COVID, but I've never gotten a strike. I guess
right.
because the stuff that they talk about lines up with the whatever the YouTube intelligentsia thinks should be said about COVID, because I've never gotten a strike on any of the COVID streams that I've done where I've had doctors come on. All right. So I didn't feel the need to use a disclaimer, because obviously the people came on, they talked about COVID, and they put the little thing underneath your video. I've never been striked off of a COVID stream.
Okay,
I've
let
never
me
had a
just
strike off of
okay.
that.
Let
So
me just give you an
obviously,
instance.
whatever they think the science is, the people who were talking about it, their talks were lining up with whatever they think the science is, and that kept me from getting a strike.
Okay, let's take let's take the dirt off the casket. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
in the state of California, DV is considered not only physical but mentally, verbal, and everything else. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then we have anti-hate laws here that are constitutional, and if the YouTube was to lose their license by broadcasting anti blacks who use certain words against black people, and if it goes against the constitution of that state, YouTube could get a call and say, if this continues to happen, we won't allow you to broadcast in our state.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say there's a powerful group, because you got a lot of powerful blacks here in California, got together and put YouTube on fire.
Mm-hmm.
What you think would happen?
Well, they'd have to reevaluate and try to, especially when you're talking about taking money out of their pockets. I mean, and I think that's what it would be. I mean, they're only going to change if money's being taken out of their pocket.
If they're gonna lose the whole state, you already know money's gonna be taken out of their
Money's
pocket.
taken out of their pocket. So
There's certain car companies at one time couldn't bring cars in the state of California unless it's been standardized to California, fit to California, a mission.
yeah,
You
I know.
understand? California
I know.
started their mission. You understand?
Yeah,
So a lot
I
of car
know.
companies,
I get a lot of parts that come from California, man, and when they get here, they have to be readjusted because they're standardized to the emissions of California, which
right?
sucks.
And so yes, every state, even Texas had something at one time. I think it came out about 2 years ago. There are a lot of porn sites, and they came that it was against the law. Boom, 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 this, boom, and believe it or not, there are porn sites that can't have certain acts that comes through Texas. And so what I'm trying to say is, we haven't been hit with that because we've been under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
But as anything that start get big, then the haters of it just itself, the Black Manosphere, could be hated by a group within our group and decide that you are violating some of the constitutional laws of California, even though it's not sanctioned by, governed by the FCC, which it is by the Pentagon. But if that state consider it is a violation of hate speech with their constitution, they could warn YouTube and say, hey, if this kind of talk continue, you can lose the state of California. And that's one thing YouTube don't want to do because they are here.
Yeah, well, who would be the person to pull the trigger on that though? Like, I mean, Well, who would be
Anybody,
the
wait a minute,
person?
wait a minute.
Who
It
would
was
be
two,
the person to pull the trigger and try to stop YouTube from doing X, Y, and Z? Who
again,
would
we
that
had
be?
one, wait a minute, we had one black woman at one time in 1980 or 1990 who went to Congress, and she was very upset about certain types of raps and this and that and
Oh,
this and
yeah, I
that.
know who you're talking about.
Okay, so don't act as individuals that one person who could be an individual who's powerful enough.
Yeah, but she never did shit though.
Okay,
She
I
never did. She
understand. I
never did
understand,
anything.
but she started the conversation. See,
Hmm.
sometimes you don't have to do but start the conversation. And so what I'm saying is we have a lot of powerful black people here in California who could easily do that halfway sleep.
So you think that? Well, it would be someone obviously in government, right?
It don't have to be. See, powerful people
What
don't
you're
have to.
what you're talking about. What you're talking
No, what
about.
I'm saying is if they brung it to any of the bylaws or the laws of this state as
Hmm.
considered hate speech, then it could be any person who could do that.
Hmm.
Only thing they have to do is get a sponsor, and that's any senator or congressperson who they have enough record of what's been said, how it's been said, and bring it to a person who can sponsor, who can get it to anybody, Sacramento or the governor, or even just bring it up as an issue that is against the Constitution of hate speech in the state of California. Then California has to follow its own laws that a company is broadcasting in the state of California who's using hate speech.
Hmm.
So don't act as if this just fall, but by the wayside.
Yeah, you talking about what's her name here? C. Dolores Tucker. You're
Yes,
talking about.
she
Yeah,
started the
C. Dolores.
conversation.
Hmm. Yeah, but she didn't accomplish jack
It don't make no difference. She started the conversation.
because it was her and it was that pastor. What the hell? God, I can't even remember his name. Damn, it's right on the tip of my tongue too. Right on the tip of my tongue. But it went.
Hey, let me
It
tell you
can't.
something. Let me
The
tell you something.
demand. The
Cedric
demand
the
for it
Entertainer,
always outweighs
I know, but Cedric
the
the Entertainer
crap these
was
people are talking.
one of the biggest comedians was coming out when he was at his peak. He said one thing about a civil rights lady in barbershop or whatever that fucking thing, or movie they did. He said the bitch was tired. That's why she didn't give up the seat. It wasn't because of no movement. And he fucked up his whole career. One person heard that who had enough power to stop his whole fucking career.
I
So
just
don't
don't.
act as I don't roll with these type of people who have that type of power. And I'm telling you that we've been loose cannons for a while. And
Mhm.
don't act as if we're not on the radar.
Yeah, but I mean, YouTube man makes so much money from this shit. I mean, let me tell you something. One thing about demand, all right, the demand is there. I mean, the demand is there. I mean, they've turned the screws a little bit on YouTube where you can't say certain words and certain things will catch the algorithm. But I just don't see a time where they're gonna stop black people about talk. They're not gonna stop black people from talking about other black people. I just
Everybody
don't see
said
that.
that about the YouTube movement too.
I just don't see
Everybody
that
said the
happening.
Me Too movement wasn't shit and it wasn't going anywhere. But look where we at
Yeah,
with it.
but this ain't me too, man. This is
No, I'm just
YouTube,
saying.
OG.
You know what I'm saying. We're talking about a movement. It
Let me tell
only
you something.
takes.
OG, YouTube hasn't changed that much. The years that I've been on it, it hasn't changed that much. It really hasn't. It hasn't changed that much.
Let me
If
ask you a question. Let me
if
ask you a
anything,
question.
it's
Seriously.
gotten more corrupt.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's going down the toilet. But let me ask you a question. Can you tell me the first um company that started in the United States, especially in California. Can you tell me the first company that changed the whole music scene?
The first company that
The
changed.
first company that was on the internet where people was going in and downloading music for free that
Oh, you talking
changed
about
the
Napster?
whole, huh?
Napster.
Yes. It changed the whole way that music was sold in this country.
Mm-hmm.
One incident and one challenge changed the whole way that music was sold in this country. Nobody's seen it coming. People was free for all. The record industry was losing so much fucking money. So you always talk about the money. And what I'm telling you is there's some old money out there, and there's some old conservative money out there that looks like me and you could push that button very easily.
Yeah, but when I look at YouTube, especially this area of YouTube, man, this is like this ain't even a drop in the bucket, man. This is like a drop in the freaking Atlantic Ocean. I
That's
mean,
why they would dismiss. That's why they
when you
would
think
dismiss this
about
kind of
YouTube,
content. That's what I'm talking about. That's why they'd make so much money for them to dismiss this type of content. It would be nothing for them to say bye bye.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, even when you talk about black YouTube itself, forget the rest of YouTube, because the rest of YouTube, this ain't even a drop in the ocean. This is a piece of mist in the ocean. But
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
let's talk about just black YouTube itself, though. Even with that, this is a very small part of black YouTube. I mean, because
Very small.
this is a very small
I know a
part.
brother who got 1 million way before KS. He had 1 million subscribers. The only thing he come on there and tell people how to do shortcuts and building, how to build stuff, shortcuts. He's a brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's got over 1 million
That's what I'm saying.
subscribers.
This is a very this
This
is
is
a
what I'm
small
saying.
part of black
But
YouTube, man.
but see, I'm saying what I'm saying, brother X, is there's still a lot of old money out there, man. Got grandbabies coming up, got granddaughters coming up, got people that they love in their family who don't feel the same way you feel or I feel, who consider some of the talking points on these type of channels as being disrupted for the community and pretty much hate speech.
But I say again, OG, if you got a problem with this hate speech, that means you are watching said hate speech for you to know that it's going on. I don't know what goes on inside my next door neighbor's house. They could be over there strangling dogs. They could be over there eating rattlesnakes. I have no idea. You know why? Because I don't go to their house.
Have you ever been to a Klan meeting, brother?
No.
I have neither. But I guess
seen
some
tapes.
wait.
I've seen tapes.
Somebody wait up. I guess somebody went to one because what happened when they went to one, it exposed one. And so when you use that narrative that you can cut it off, that has never been the law in the United States of America.
Well, we're not talking about law.
No, I'm just saying you still have what they call community standards all over this fucking country.
Yes. But YouTube has its own, though.
Regardless of YouTube have its own, it cannot supersede any federal or state
It's already doing it by the stuff we talk about, OG. It's already doing it.
This is what I'm saying.
Isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just like when a motherfucker go to court and he plea bargain, we call that putting your ass on layaway because the next time they go sock it to your ass. So understand what I'm really saying is if we don't straighten some of this shit up, we on borrowed time, bro.
Well, hold your breath, OG, because it's not going to happen. Negroes are going to get up here and say whatever the hell they want. And guess what? I'm with them on that. One thing I will never try to do is stop a person from speaking their mind, even if I disagree with them, because if they say enough stuff that I disagree with, you know what I can always do? If they say enough things that I disagree with, I can always do that. Just fall on out. I mean, I don't have to be, oh, y'all shouldn't be saying that. Y'all, no.
That's
Do
not your
do
job, bro.
do and
That's not
say
your
what
look,
you
brother
want.
X, that's not your job. That's not your job. But that is the government job.
But the government don't regulate
Listen,
YouTube though.
listen what I'm just saying.
Because if it did, a lot of us would have been gone a long time ago.
Listen what I'm saying again. I'm gonna say it again.
It'd have been gone a long time
Hey,
ago. You must be talking about something that's going to happen 10, 15 years from now. You must be talking about that, because if the government was regulating this YouTube shit, like talk about it, most of us probably wouldn't even be on here. We'd have been gone a long time ago.
You say 10 or 15 years. I'll tell you.
Next week? It's going to be next week?
No. I'll tell you that if you thinking it's going to be 10 or 15 years before that happen, I'm going to tell you I got a bridge over there in Lincoln Tunnel. Bridge, which one you want.
Oh, gee,
that
I
you can
just don't
purchase
see it.
Wait a
People are still going to be on here running
Can I
their
tell you something?
mouths and saying what they want to say.
Can I tell you something? People didn't see the white brothers when they was out there flying. They just thought the motherfuckers was crazy. All
Yeah,
right.
but this isn't that, OG.
No. What I'm trying to say, anytime change come in the world, people never see it. They're always behind. And any community that is really behind, it's us. We always see it too late.
But this ain't the world, OG. This is freaking YouTube.
You keep saying it's YouTube.
That's because it is.
Okay, listen again. Listen again what I'm trying to tell you. Fortune 500 companies don't come and promote their brand if YouTube was not important.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So you got to understand YouTube get a lot of business from advertisers.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball has a brand that you can do certain things, say certain things, whenever you can say whatever, even in their situations. Now, these same basketball teams, sports centers, ESPN, and all these other multi Fortune 500 companies are coming to YouTube. So that's almost like saying these companies who see this as a platform that they can promote their brand, but they're not going to be setting up on that brand or YouTube when you got Pornhub on there that's on the same fucking channel. They're not going to associate. You understand? They're not going to associate their goddamn brand with Pornhub. And what I'm saying is, no Fortune 500 company is going to associate with a company that they consider or someone bring it to your attention that it's a bunch of hate speech.
But they're already doing it. They're already advertising.
Yes,
they're
because
already doing
listen again, because someone or no one have made it an issue yet.
They do make it an issue because if
Listen what I just said.
if
Listen
your
what I said.
if your content is a
someone,
certain way, they won't let you put ads on it. So that
listen
they're
again.
already
I
regulating.
understand that's YouTube. But I'm saying someone, the right person, have not made it an issue yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how change comes. It comes like a thief in the night. And for some reason or another, we as black people, we're always behind the belt curve.
Yeah, well, I just don't see it coming, OG. I just don't see a point
I
where
know
they're
you
going to
don't see
be
it. Yeah, I know
where
you
they're
don't
going to
see it.
be
You know
where they're
what?
going to be
Can I tell
regulating
you
this
something?
and regulating
Can I tell you
that.
something? Can I tell you something, Brother X? My first video, still have it up on Talkback Radio, was my first video when I put my last screw in my clock in my studio. My first video was on black men need to get their health together. I spent almost an hour and 45 minutes talking to black men. Not only get your health together, I was telling you why you got to get your health together. One of the key words I said in that video was These people are not playing. And not only did I tell them to get their health together, I was told them how to do certain things to keep their health together. I haven't had a cold in 40 years. And so when I start talking about what was about to happen, everybody was talking about this conspiracy shit. Here he go with this conspiracy, this black power shit, this white man don't like you, or this and that right there. A man came on our radio station named Craig Hewitt 2 years ago and told us there will be a time when the government will pay us $1,400 to all stay at home. He was $200 off. He's an analyst for the government. Been an analyst all his life for the government. Pentagon, senators, governors, presidents. And when he told us that, this is before I made my video. When he told us that, everybody on that radio station gave him all kinds of push. Well, what the how in the fuck that's gonna happen? Where's they gonna get the money from? Man, you gonna lost your goddamn mind. And 2 years later, the government made everybody $1,200 as a standard.
No, the hell they didn't. They didn't give me 1,200.
Well, I'm sorry you got cheated, maybe because you in North Carolina. But out here, listen. Out here,
I wasn't eligible for no
listen.
stimulus.
For out here, you got $300. You got I think the minimum was 150. But anybody who had worked had $300 from the state and $600 from the government. That's $900. That was every fucking week. And so what I'm saying is, y'all can believe what you want to. Y'all can keep walking around talking about you don't believe this and you don't believe that. But in the end, when you live long enough and you see things how it happens and it comes in your face and people start telling you about it. I remember the first time I started telling them people about one of the brothers who was a friend of mine, internet friend, because that's what I'm gonna call him, internet friend. I was telling them they're gonna shut down everything. You won't be able to find certain foods in the store. He was like, man, shit, I can order this shit off the internet. Boom, boom, boom. Next week, he couldn't find no rice or beans. This motherfucker was talking about there's no way. It's too much money in the strip club business. They're never gonna shut it down. Yeah, you go have somebody shaking their ass in your face with a mask on. She got a mask over her pussy. And that's supposed to be entertainment. So I told the stupid motherfucker, look here, it's gonna happen. 2 weeks later, this motherfucker called me on my private line and say, look, OG, I don't know how you knew this shit was gonna happen. But everything you said on your show, he said, man, look here, forgive me, man. I went hard in on your ass because I know you one of them pro-black ass brothers, and I thought you was talking about this and that, and everything that you said came to be true. So y'all can think all you want to, but one thing I do know, if you causing a company like YouTube in a state where they consider that you using hate speech on some of your programs, and they get enough information, they will shut y'all ass out. Believe it or not.
But that's going to be on an individual basis. They're not going to shut down 500 brothers because of hate speech. They're going to shut down each brother individually that they think is committing said hate speech. They're not going to knock down, well, everybody who's in the manosphere, your channels are shut down. I don't think they're going to do that, man. They're going to do it to you individually. Whoever, if they're going to do it, which I don't think they are, but if they were going to do it, it would be on an individual basis. They wouldn't knock down 200, 300, 400, 500 channels in one swath because there would have to be a process to it, right? They'd have to go through each person's material and see that someone would have to first level a complaint. I mean, I just don't see it, OG.
They got
I don't see
Brother
it,
X,
man.
Brother X.
I don't see it, OG.
Brother X. Brother X, they got smart computers for that bullshit you just got through saying.
Yeah, but I don't think. I tell you
That's
what
I just said. They got smart
computers. I tell you what. This is what I'm willing to do. When they knock down a whole swath of brothers, you call me up and you tell me that happened. I will send you whatever you want. A car, whatever I can afford, I'll send it to you. A car, a
I know
motorcycle, a
goddamn
boat,
well you gonna try
a,
to send me one of them
got
goddamn John Deere tractors.
a
You know
boat.
damn well I ain't trying to do no work like
Well, if
that.
I sent you that, man, I would send you one of them Z tracks, boy. I wouldn't send you one of no junk now.
You
I
want to
send
see me
you.
one? You want to see me one?
I ain't, I ain't
But
send you no junk.
hey, look,
I send you
I'm
one of
just
them damn Z
hey,
tracks.
hey, I'm look, old school to old school. I'm just glad we can have this conversation, and
Absolutely,
I
man.
and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass because I've been wanting to say this for a while because I see it coming, and I see it coming a lot quicker than you think it is.
Mhm.
And I'm just trying to get some brothers out there who I know who are trying to build brotherhood with brothers who really need the help and brothers who need to get their shit together and they don't know how to do it together because they don't have a father around and been raised by their mothers and they're trying to get their life together and trying to throw all that bullshit that they learned from their mothers off their back. And they really need
OG,
help.
OG, did you just admit that
I
dudes
bet you ain't gonna say it, old mamas.
are suffering because they live with their old mama? Did you
I have
just
never
say that?
wait a minute, stop right there. I have never said there was anything different. The only problem y'all hate is I say the other side of it. That's the side you hate. This is why Kevin Sanders don't fuck with brothers. Because he know he was gonna have to deal with this shit sooner or later. The same
Mhm.
thing he's telling the sisters, he would have had to tell the brothers too, in a certain he would have to spoon fed it because these brothers don't got more bitchified than these women. These women can get on there and go back to him and at least have a conversation. These brothers want to kill you, call you all kinds of bullshit and everything else. But he at least can have a conversation with the sister and tell her how she needs to correct her behavior. Yes, I have always said it takes two to raise a child, male child or female child. I've been consistent with that. But what y'all don't like to hear when I make the men accountable too. Y'all don't have a problem when Cheryl Ali comes on there and talking about the sister. But y'all have a problem if she come on there and talk about that other book she got. Black woman's got to understand the black man. Y'all have a problem with that one. See, this is why I difference from a lot of the people in this manosphere. I'm willing to listen to both sides because in the end of the day, I just want the problem to be over. Whoever corrected, the men or the women. In the end of the day, I just want the fucking problem to be over.
Well, I'm sorry, OG. I own it. I am biased as hell. And let me tell you something. I'm very biased when it comes to these old mamas.
I knew you was gonna do that on the show today. And I was ready to laugh with you. Because you know
but
what?
I own it. I
Hey,
own it.
hey,
I
hey,
admit it. I'm
hey,
biased.
hey,
Go ahead.
hey, brother X. See, the problem with that, with you just doing that, I don't disagree. See?
I, I admit
But
it.
why
I
is
don't.
it I don't have to disagree with you knowing that that is a problematic in our community and so many other brothers disagree when I hold the fathers accountable where they put their seeds at. If you wait a minute. If you know right now, brother X, if you can't get some work done in your shop and you got to overload,
Mhm.
you go and take that other work and give it on consignment to someone else until they fix it. But you go take it to a reputable company that you know can fix that shit. Why
Mhm.
is it a man wouldn't take his car to some of these ragged ass women that they would put a baby in? They wouldn't take their same car to a damn mechanic who couldn't fix it. You'll leave your seed in that type of woman, or you'll leave your babies at that type of woman's house to raise, and you won't have no accountability of what happened. See,
Yeah,
that's
but
the difference between the two.
that's a small part of the male collective, though. OG. I mean that's a very small percentage of black men who are running around here just dropping babies off left and right. I mean that's not the overwhelming majority of black men that are doing
I'm
that.
not saying that because I know the 50%. I'm not saying that, but don't you think 50% is too much?
What 50% of black men are just dumping
Well,
babies off
only
everywhere?
50% of men don't have children,
Yes.
right? That's
So
the numbers
eh,
been kicked around in the manosphere,
yes,
right?
and you got 30% of men who are married who have children. They're married.
Right.
So
And
that's eight.
even
So
though
that's so
men,
that's
wait a minute,
80% of men that you can't hold. You can't hold that
but
over
no,
their
no, no,
heads
no, no, no. You can't. You got to stop right there. You got to stop right there because this is where
because
y'all
if
know.
fifty
This
percent
wait, wait, wait. This is
if
where y'all
50% of them
Hey,
don't have kids, they're
okay. Listen what I'm just
automatically
saying.
out of
Listen
it.
what I'm just saying. Okay, I got your numbers. I got your 50%, and then you got 30% who's married. I got your numbers, but this is where your numbers start to be a little tricky. You act as men don't get divorced and leave their children. That's what you're
So
not counting into that 30%.
yeah, that's true. So okay,
So when
let's
y'all
say
start throwing these fucking super
so
numbers
that
around, and
so
then you
okay,
start talking
fine.
about
I'm
80%,
gonna give you the argument. I'm gonna give you the argument. So if 30% of black men are married, right? If 30% of black men are married, and you say there's a lot of them divorced, right? There's a 50% divorce rate in
50%. So
America,
that
right?
means that
So that means
15% are divorced.
15%. Okay, so you're
Right,
talking 15% of men
right.
who may or may not be there with
65%,
the
I give
kids.
you that much.
That's
I give you
still 60.
65%.
That's still
I give you 60.
65% of black men that you can't
Right.
hold over their heads.
Right. And you still can't carry that number over 2 months because a lot of people don't get divorced, they get separated. So you got to count them
Oh
numbers in
God!
too.
Now we going into the we we
Now
in
we
the
starting to get into the
we
real
in
mathematics.
we in the
Now we
weeds
really
now.
starting to get
OG, we in the
wait, wait.
weeds now. We talking
You
separated.
damn right. I
Next,
get down
next,
nasty. I get so
next,
low I can see a
next. It'll
snail's dick
be
because
they
I like to
may
get to
be
the root of the
married,
problem.
but
And the
they
root of the
not really
problem is
together
y'all throw these
for
inflated numbers around, but
for
nobody ever
economic
bring you to
purposes.
task. Nobody ever gave you a task because a lot of you brothers go to night school. You can't count in the daytime. So when you start talking about 15% who get
Okay.
divorced because of 50% voice in America, all right? But you don't
hmm
include people who are separated who never get a divorce.
hmm And we also don't include
We
we
include the
also
ones who
we
get divorced and
we
then still
we
take care of the
we
kids.
also don't include those who are still married, but the husband sleeps upstairs and the wife sleeps downstairs.
Right. So what I'm saying is TP, what I'm saying is TP, until women start having children by themselves, impregnate themselves, then I think it's crazy for us to keep this discussion that is all the women fault in our community.
I've never said it's all their fault, but I think they have a hefty majority of it.
Because
I think
they are the most ones who are left with the fucking kids. Why wouldn't it be their problem?
yeah, but they are the ones who control sex. Women
I
control
understand that, but we're talking about
women
wait. We're not
control
wait.
sex.
I understand that. But you control your dick too, don't you?
Yeah, but guess what?
Okay,
Yo,
unless you
I'm a
raping a
I'm a
woman.
married man,
Unless,
okay? I'm a
I'm not talking
married
about you.
man, and
I'm not
guess
talking.
what? I
I'm not
can't
talking about you
I can't
personally.
lay my wife down unless she let me,
I'm not talking about you per se. I'm talking
right?
about as long as men have control of their dicks and women have control of their pussy, there's no way you can come to the table and have a fair argument if you go lean all the way on the person who carries the baby versus the
Mhm.
person who gave her the seed to fertilize her egg to get the baby.
Yes, but women control sex. They also
No,
control childbirth.
I'm telling you why they don't
They
control it.
don't control that?
Wait. And Cheryl Ali have told you this. Ain't no woman can walk up on you right now and pull out a goddamn Desert Eagle 357, 38, or 22 and make you fuck her. If she
No.
did, your dick is gonna go down from the fear of it.
But OG, women are in control of sex and they are in control of childbirth because any woman that doesn't want to get pregnant won't.
Listen
If she
again.
don't if she don't
Listen
want to get
again.
pregnant, she won't.
Listen
OG,
again.
come on
Listen
now.
again. You got two motherfuckers on the curb. And you tell both of them motherfuckers, look here. If you jump off this goddamn mountaintop, you're gonna have a chance to get killed. Right? Now, every person has the control of his own body. We can both agree to that. But if the woman chooses to jump off the motherfucking curve, that's her fault. If a man chooses to jump off the curve, that's his fault. So how is it that women become the total responsibility of our bad behavior in the community when she don't even have a man nowhere in sight, but with another dick trying to get the same thing to her again, not taking accountability for children, his children that he had before he was trying to get to her. So you are correct. She has a greater responsibility due to the fact she is going to be the one who's going to bear that child if she chooses to do it. But you have a responsibility because she couldn't fertilize that egg without your sperm.
Yeah, but she still controls whether or not she gets impregnated or not, OG.
Regardless
She
of
has
who, wait,
she
wait,
has
wait,
total control
I
over
would
that.
never tell my son. I would never tell my son that. Look here. Look, if the woman want to give you some pussy and she wants to do it raw dick, you go ahead and get it, son. Don't worry about it. Because she controls sex. She'll control if you have a baby or not. No, motherfucker, you put a rub on that motherfucker and you tape it up with duct tape.
And I
Don't let her
agree.
give you a head job because she might bite a hole in it.
I agree. But at the same time, I'll say again, women have control access to sex. Women can decide whether or not they have a baby or not. Okay. I mean, and especially when you're
And
talking
that's
about,
what we agree
and
along with. That's what we
especially
agree along with.
especially when you're
That's
talking about after, after you done ejaculated, you've given up all power, because guess what? If you want that baby and she don't, guess what? She can get rid of it. And
right.
likewise,
So this is
if you don't
if you
want it,
know, wait, wait,
if
wait, wait,
you
wait, wait,
don't
wait, wait,
want
wait.
it and
If you're
she
Tiger
does,
Woods,
she can
if you
keep it.
okay, if you're Tiger Woods and you know you're gonna be playing a motherfucker who's not as skillful as you, and you give yourself a handicap, don't get mad at the fucking results at the 19th hole. You already knew you had a handicap from the beginning. So don't get to be arguing and fussing and biting, biting back, because you knew that from the fucking beginning. You knew you had a handicap. So what the fuck are you complaining about?
I just think that
It ain't about thinking right about now,
I think
brother. It's about knowing that you got a handicap, but you still gonna put your dick in a hole that you know that you ain't gonna have no power if that person get pregnant. You
yeah, well,
knew that before you
see
put your
me,
dick in the hole.
I just don't believe that there's a lot of brothers out there just operating irresponsibly. If I remember correctly, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I believe that black men use condoms more than anyone else.
And they
So
should be, just because
percentage
the other
wise,
element. Hey, look, they should be just because the elements of what you can catch out there. But
maybe
it's gonna
that's
have to be a time when we
maybe
go out.
that's
Wait a
that's
minute.
why the majority
Right,
of
right.
black men don't
Okay.
have children.
Maybe we still gonna have to have the conversation. If you go on a fucking job, right? And you know you're not skilled and someone else has more skill than you to do that job. When you go in there and you fuck around, get ready to turn a goddamn screw, and it has a spring on it, and you break your fucking arm, you knew you were not skilled enough to do that job in the first place. So men can gotta stop this bullshit about they don't know that women has an advantage when they stick their goddamn dick inside of them, and especially if they stick it in there raw. We gotta stop making these blind excuses for these guys who do shit like that. Like y'all make the same excuses what when y'all be trying to say that brothers talk about the white man this, the white man got me that. Well, we know that the white man might do something, so we make things that we can go around it or jump over it. But it's still not as if that's not out there. Y'all keep acting like these brothers are so robotic that pussy got them so fucked up in the head that they know they're handicapped. So when they go in there and they get exactly the poison what the snake said was going to put on the dick, and then all of a sudden they end up in the courtroom, or all of a sudden they end up playing goddamn weekend dad They knew all this shit from the beginning.
So you say, OG. So you say. But we're gonna end it there
Okay.
because
And I'm glad we did.
I need to lay my ass down because I actually got something to do early in the morning. But I appreciate you coming through, OG, as always. We got to do this again. Well, you're going to Africa soon, right?
Yes, sir.
When are you leaving? When are you leaving?
The house has been built, and the COVID. You know how the COVID is. We talked about it.
Mhm.
You know,
So
you know
what?
what this is.
Once you're in Africa, you're not gonna we won't be able to reach you anymore. Is that
No,
what's
I'm
going?
on the other challenge that I don't talk about. I will be carrying. As a matter of fact, if we look at the country that I'm broadcasting in, I'm broadcasting them my channels in Africa already that I
Okay.
don't disclose to anyone because now I have a web page that I'm building now for 2 of my channels, and these will be things that I'll be brought because I'm going over there to learn. I'm not just going over there try to go over there and pump my chest like I know every guy. I'm going over there to learn the culture over there, the culture
Mhm.
that was strict of us. So yes, it's my way, you know. And just like you say, everybody have the right to say what they want to say. Then I have a right to live my life the way I want to live my life. And I know you ain't saying anything against it, but it's a beautiful thing for me. I've been over there 3 times, and I know what I'm getting into, and it's just a better life for me. I don't have
Mhm.
to listen and see the things that I see that our community, and it's not trouble free over there. It's not like, you know, a day at Disneyland, but I understand that culture better than I understand this culture. This might be what the Passport Brothers talks about. There's a difference in, and I want to leave you with this because I was just thinking about this, and I really wanted to bring this up, but I ain't gonna have a discussion. But I want you to think about this. The Passport Brothers always talk about how great the women are in them countries. Do you ever hear them talk about how different the men's are over there too?
Mm. Well, I know, I know a couple people from Africa. My man, he's from Senegal, and
That's where I'm going. Dry car synagogue.
yeah, my man's from Senegal, and
No,
him
no,
and I we
I
talk
want
from
that
time to
slip. I
time.
want that.
So
Hey, brother X. I don't want that slip past. I always hear all the greatness of how these women are different from our women in our community. Why do the brothers who go over there don't match themselves up with the men over there themselves? Why they don't say how good the men's and how different the men's are different from the men over here?
well,
Why is
I'm a
that
s-
conversation? Why is that
well,
conversation is not never talked about? You talk about
well,
the women, but you don't talk about the great men's over there in them countries neither.
Well, of course, the men over there are going to be somewhat different because it's a different culture, it's a different part of the world. They live in under different circumstances and
What a
different
surprise!
conditions. I mean, of
What,
course, it's going to be
hey,
different
hey,
over
hey, hey,
there.
brother X, what a surprise that they of course, but they're always talking about the women over there to shame the women over here, but they don't never talk about the men over there to shame the men's what they're doing over here. It's you see, I've been studying this shit for a while. I'm listening to them. I'm listening to these brothers talk on all different levels. And that's what
Hmm.
I'm saying. I study people. I study what they say. And I have never heard a brother come over here and say how great the men are over there and they don't have some of the same problems that we have over here. And these are the things that the men do over there versus the men over here. It's something strange about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're always going to have because we talk about this a lot, right? And I don't really want to dwell on this, but we talk about how men deal with women all the time, right? That's something that gets talked about on the internet a lot. And what I think a lot of brothers, especially brothers, in the United States, from what I hear on the
And I
internet,
do have the red one.
I
I got the
do believe.
black one on the night, but I do have the red one. I told you I keep 2 cups in my closet.
I believe that brothers, I just think brothers are seeking something better than what they've seen. And I don't think anything's wrong with that. I,
I
I
don't
don't think
neither.
I don't think anything's wrong with brothers saying, I want better than the hoes that's here. I don't think anything's wrong with that. Now,
But
people try to make it
me
seem
neither.
like it is, but there's nothing wrong with brothers wanting something different, man.
Nothing
Wanting something better. There's nothing wrong
different.
with that.
And there's nothing wrong with it. The problem I have with that is the same way I have with all these other one-sided street conversation is Why is it they don't talk about the good men in them countries and how these women become what they become because they have good fathers and they have good mentors and they have a different culture that are ran and governed by men, and it's not the same quality of men we have over here. That's the problem I'm having.
Yeah, well, to be continued, OG. Once again, man, I
Yes, sir.
appreciate you. I appreciate you coming through, man. I do.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Yeah, yeah, man.
You know I was
I
your
got.
first timekeeper. You know that, right?
Yes, I
I the
remember.
first one brought a clock to your show.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I remember. I remember. I
Yes,
remember.
sir.
We got to get up again before you go to Africa, OG.
Okay. And maybe I'll
All
do a
right, man.
sympathize with the radio station and you. Thank you. Thank you for the people who came in and have the patience to listen to me filibuster. Maybe you got something out of it. Maybe you just look at OG, that's the way he is. But my whole thing is if I want black people to be better as a group. And maybe
Mhm.
some of you have forgot about that, and some of you don't care about that. But I know that it's gonna take a lot of changes from way we thinking men and women for us to grow to be the people we should be. Thank you, my brother. You keep up the good work, keep the conversation
Absolutely.
coming, and I appreciate you. Even though
Oh,
you
in
only
fact, and as a matter of fact, damn, I can't believe I forgot this. We're going to be talking about Africa tomorrow, as a matter of
yes, sir.
fact.
All
So
right.
if you ain't doing nothing, man, come through.
Yeah, stop in, because that's where I'm headed toward. I mean, when I go on
Yeah,
them
we'll be.
dating sites over there, shit, I'm a 10.
Mm,
There are women over there 30 and 40 years old, ain't never had no kids, never been married, and they looking for a good man. So
mm.
it ain't that I hate the passport brothers. It's just that I know I'm in my life now, I am a good man and I deserve a good woman, regardless of wherever I get at.
Yeah, don't go over there and make no baby mamas, OG.
Hey, I'm trying to have at least about 15 before I leave this earth. I'm gonna live forever through my children. I'm gonna like have 15.
I
I
hear
got to,
you,
you
boy.
know what I
I
mean?
hear
You
you.
got to understand.
Better you than me. That's
Hey,
all I
hey,
can
hey,
say.
hey, brother X. Every dollar here is $19 there.
Mhm.
So if you got a pension $2,200, how much that a month?
Yeah, but what the hell does that have to do with having all these kids? What does that have to do with that?
Well, you know, you
All
haven't
that
tried,
means
man.
you
Hey,
have
you
enough
haven't
money to
tried.
take care of them.
Yeah, you haven't. Yeah, and then you have hey, brother X, you have enough wife to take care of them too.
Yeah, but like I said, better you than me, boy. I'm done. I mean,
I
shit,
know you're done. You know, I'm
done
just gonna
having
try
kids.
different this
I
time.
already got, I got nephew and grandson and shit that I'm raising.
I
So
got grandson too. My father had me at 50. Hell, I'm just 10 years
that's
behind.
yeah, that's enough for me. So I don't
Yeah,
need I don't need no
hey,
new one.
I ain't putting my gun on the shelf that motherfucker just won't shoot no more. You can say
OG,
what you want to.
I
Take it easy,
appreciate
man.
you, man.
Yeah, man.
Peace.
I'm glad we had some fun, man. Peace, man. We're out of here. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Peace, OG. Yeah, y'all just got off the line with the OG. You know, I got a lot of respect for the OG. I like the OG. Like he said, he was one of my first time keepers in the debates. Me and the OG, we actually talk every now and then on the phone. Now, mind you, I disagree with his ass on some stuff like y'all could clearly see tonight. Some things I just totally disagree with him on. But I've always liked the OG, man, and he's always welcome here, even when he up here saying shit that I disagree with. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. But before we go, y'all know I gotta hit y'all in the head with T.P.O.T's programming notes. Yeah. Let me go ahead and turn my camera on. Like I was telling the OG folks, tomorrow we're going to be talking about Africa. Let me go ahead and get this down from there. Yeah, cause tomorrow, man, we're going to be talking about when the ship sails to Africa. Yeah, that's the title of the show. And like I told y'all at the top of the stream, the Hood Conservative will be here. My man SKC will be here as well. And the artist formerly known as Kevin and Sales who is now Chaotic Truth, will be here. So yeah, the brothers will be here tomorrow, man, and we'll be talking about some Africa stuff, man. We'll be talking about maritime Africa from back in the day, and we're also going to be talking about when the ship sails to Africa. Who's going to be on it? Is the ship ever leaving? Yeah, we're going to be talking about all that shit tomorrow. So make sure you hear tomorrow, man, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You Negroes know. All right? All right. I appreciate the OG coming through tonight, though, man. As always, man, the OG, like I said, I don't always agree with him, but, I mean, the OG is a good guest to have, man. It was really lighthearted tonight. It wasn't really serious. It didn't get crazy, really lighthearted. It always is, when the OG comes in the spot. So, shout out to the OG, man. And y'all get on down there and check his channel out if you want to, Nig Rose. But I'm going to say this before we go, man. As far as, especially when you're talking about, copulation and having babies and all that kind of stuff, X is biased as hell. I own it. All right. I'm a very biased person when it comes to that kind of stuff because y'all know what I think of these old mamas. All right. And I make no qualms about it. I'm very biased when it comes to these old mamas. I just am. I'm sorry. Well, actually, I'm not sorry. I own it, but I just think that if some of these old mamas was to regulate that damn funk box, we wouldn't be in the state that we're in. But on the other side of that, I also believe, and I've been saying this for the past couple of weeks, that there is no changing these women. There is no changing grown-ass people. You can't do it, man. You've seen it. You can't change grown-ass people. You can't. You just can't. I know it sounds good to think that you can change the mind of adults. And I know that shit sounds great. And hey, probably about that many of them, you might change. But the overwhelming majority of adults, man, you're not going to be able to change them, man. You're not. You're not. You're not going to be able to change their minds. You're not going to be able to change their thinking. You're not going to be able to change their freaking behavior. Ergo, you will never change the result. And to be honest with you, sometimes, man, we just have to be good with that. We have to be okay with that. You want to develop people. You want to groom people into something. You know who you're going to groom? You know the people you can groom and change and develop them into something? Your children. Your children. You know those little people. They look like you. They live in your house. You pay for all this shit. Those are the only people you can develop, man. Those are the only people you can groom. Those are the only people that you have a direct hand into how they turn out. And that's what I think is wrong with us. We spend too much time trying to groom and develop and raise grown people. You can't raise grown-ass folks. They're already raised. They're already reared. They're already groomed. There's no raising them. But them little ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 years old, man, you got a clean slate with them. You want to see some people grow up into something, to be someone. Those are going to be the ones to do it. Those are going to be the ones you can affect. Those are going to be the ones you can influence. Your children, yours. I'm not talking about somebody else's. I'm talking about yours, the children in your family. Those are the people you can raise. Those are the people you can guide. Those are the people you can counsel. Those are the people you can instruct and see the change as it grows. You can sit up here and talk to grown folks all day long. Yeah, they give you the bobblehead like they're listening, like they're going along with it. They'll be messing around doing the same shit you were speaking against tomorrow. I don't have a lot of confidence in trying to teach grown people. I really don't. That's why I don't hire people who don't already know shit. I'm not going to bring you in as an adult with a clean slate. You don't know mechanical process. You don't understand internal combustion. You don't know what a turbine is. You don't know your way around a toolbox. Man, I don't have time to bring you in, man, and teach you all that shit. Because guess what? I'm not going to be able to. Bring you in as somebody who can sweep the shop up from time to time and maybe move some equipment around if you know how to drive it, but it's going to be about it. It's the same thing. How you going to try to teach an adult how to be an adult? They're already an adult. It's just that they're a fucked up one. They're already an adult. It's just that they're a fucked up one. Oh, you're going to come in and make them a not fucked up adult, right? It's too late. That's something they should have been taught when they were little. That's something they should have been taught when they were a child. Once you're an adult, you're an adult. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. And I don't think any damn thing we say up here is going to change that. And that's where I disagree with the OG. Because he seems to think that, coming up here and talking is somehow going to influence somebody to go do something. No. They go and do something after watching one of these videos. Guess what? They were probably going to go and do it anyway. If not by watching this video, another video. If not my video, your video. So I'm not just, I can't be with that. Oh, well, we got to be careful what we say because lunatics might be watching. If that's the case, I got to be careful what I wear when I walk out the house, right? Because some lunatic may look at my clothes and see it as a sign of Armageddon. I got to watch how fast I drive on the highway, right? Because guess what? Some lunatic might be watching and try to drive like me and kill somebody. Right? Instead of doing my usual 90 on a 485, maybe I should be doing the 65 limit. Because some lunatic might be watching me and be like, damn, I want to drive like that and kill somebody. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be responsible for people who I don't even know are paying attention. That to me, that doesn't make any sense. It's different if I'm doing something inside this house and the kids are in the house. Certain things I'm not going to do in front of the boys. I'm not going to do it, right? But they're in here. I'm under control of this. I ain't in control of y'all. I don't know what you damn people out there are watching or who you are, whether or not you're lunatics or not. How am I supposed to know that? Should I make everybody who come in my audience go undergo a mental evaluation and say, and once I look at their paperwork, be like, up, you failed your eval. Don't watch my shit no more. You failed your eval. Don't watch my stuff anymore, man. I mean, you can't control, man, who watches you. You can't control that. Of course, you can control what you do up here. Of course, you can. Yeah, you can control that. But if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it for reasons that I want to. I'm not going to try to control what I do and say up here just to keep the lunatics from driving to YouTube and throwing Molotov cocktails in the window, or driving down the street and doing something ridiculous to other people. I'm not going to do it for that, man, because I don't believe in censorship. I believe in freedom of association. You can watch who you want to watch, pay attention who you want to pay attention to, be around who you want to be around. And likewise, I am a believer in freedom of disassociation as well. Don't watch who you don't like. Don't be around people that you don't respect. Don't deal with folks who give you problems. That's what freedom is, right? Freedom of association, and likewise, freedom of disassociation, man. That's the problem up here. People want to get up here and tell you who to be around, tell you who to watch, tell you what to say, what to do. You don't like what I do, man. All you got to do is turn me the hell off. That's it. Don't watch me all the time and say, oh, I don't like you when you say X, Y, and Z. You must like it. You study watching. You steadily watching, right? You continue to watch. See, me, I don't believe in self-torture. I've said that many, many times. And one thing y'all don't have to worry about me doing, getting up here and telling you what you should have on your channel, who you should have on it, what you should be doing on it. I don't like what you're doing. I'm just not going to watch your shit. That's it. That's all. But anyway, once again, man, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, man. You could have been anywhere on a Tuesday night, man, but you decided to be here. It is appreciated. We're gonna throw down tomorrow, man. Then we're probably gonna be off for the next few days. Y'all know we usually throw down on Thursday, but Thursday, we're probably gonna be doing some fireworks. Because everybody, I'm not really much into Thanksgiving, but everybody else is. So everybody gonna be around, the kids are gonna be around. Oh, do your fireworks, pop, pop. So I gotta do fireworks, god damn it. So I'm gonna be on the firework detail, probably Thanksgiving. So y'all ain't gonna see me. These little knuckleheads around here, I want to make them happy, and they know I hoard fireworks. I have I'm a firework aficionado, so they know I got them, so they not gonna let me not burn them. So yeah, tomorrow we gonna throw down, y'all, and then we probably won't throw down again till maybe Saturday, but probably not till, let me see. Let me look at the calendar, because I know I have to go. I have to go to an equipment auction. So shit, I may not do nothing Wednesday either. It all depends. I don't know if we're leaving Wednesday night or Thursday morning. Yeah, because we're going to an equipment auction up north, pick up some equipment and truck it back. Yeah, and that's going to be, because I may be leaving Wednesday night. But if I don't leave Wednesday night, if I leave Thursday morning, y'all, we're going to do something Wednesday. But if I gotta leave Wednesday night, y'all won't see my ass because I'll be on the road. But I might leave. We might leave Thursday morning because the auction is the 2nd. So I gotta see y'all. Gotta see how things go. All right. But y'all will know because we'll be talking. I'll see y'all, on the other side and all that kind of stuff. All right. All right. Once again, man, I appreciate everybody coming out, man. As always, I don't take you lightly, man. I never have and I never will. And shout out, man, to the OG J Speed. He says a lot of stuff that I disagree with, but I've always liked the OG, man, and shout out to him, man. And shoot, maybe he'll be around tomorrow, man. We'll be talking about Africa. And you make sure you have your black behinds here too, all right? All right. So with that, I will leave you good folks with 3 words, like I always do. Open your mind.
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, see, my cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost at $1 billion. 3 PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hears these sirens and looks through the mirror and sees this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the price of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, Paul. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Huh? Why do you think you never pick up a paper until you read over and over and see white families travel? You think it's thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying as black cops shot my loved one 40 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops are that? You think they're more spiritual? Think they're better? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, if we said, look, we saying, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that anytime a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you used to drive a car. And if you use it wrong, then you lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to push that through? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, if we call them for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Back Fifth Avenue, Toys R Us, Cedar Rover, Westinghouse, they they will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
Copy. Santana, Lincoln 6. Go ahead. Clear suspect down, 10-4. That's 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your mind. Your mind.
Only from the Prophet of Thought Series Media.
You know.
Open your mind. 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 Open your mind.